But with a gravity cat nearby, problem solved.
That's why I landed on my feet.
Okay, you got that suit on your way.
Oh, look at that! Okay, I gotta get a screenshot of this.
Oh.
Remember, this is just a normal night in Star Citizen.
Yes. Whee! Pirouette team. He left me.
Oh my god, my head just went through the cockpit door.
Somebody fall out.
Shield under attack. Warning. Power critical. Shield surge complete. Warning. Rear shield.
Seriously?
I just see you hitting nothing but tires.
Oh, I know. And I just crystallized again.
I'm waiting for it.
I bumped the wall and I just became like a block of ice.
What I need to do this weekend.
Ah.
Thursday?
Oh, damn.
You know what I did?
I bailed, but now I'm falling.
Alright, hold on. We're coming
No,
back.
no
Turn
med
around.
pen. I'm incapped. You can rescue me from this. Medical beacon going out.
FS9.
The only downfall is that gun racks also become available to others.
Yeah, but if we always, like, if we have the nurse to close inside of the ship, that's how we should start leaving it. So leave it closed. That
Oh
way-
shit! What the? Oh shit!
What did you
Yeah,
do, Dark?
He's not in it anymore because his name doesn't show up.
All right,
Does it say empty seat?
Empty seat. Yep.
all right, everybody, cover the doors.
I mean, there's so many. It's the worst place to cover.
He got me. He's over here on the back side. But I'm innocent, so I can press charges.
Where is he?
That's a Moab. That's a Moab. Ah! Damn.
I just got a CS2.
You just killed me.
Nice!
I was.
Well, you can fly a ship down there and pull you out.
I am incapacitated.
Yeah, you might die going into that cave, actually, if you go all the way to the bottom on foot. Alright, we are down now.
Yep. Shield's full.
Ah! No, I'm incapacitated.
What, are y'all getting shot?
No, I think it's the ground. There's that bug where if you go to certain areas on day.
Yeah, lawn dog getting run over by four wheels, you still look okay. And your burrito.
Oh! Yeah, it did not. It did not last long.
That lasted absolutely.
Got in, so I'll get you a party invite there, Gobo. Oh, and I just died. How do I have missiles on me already here? Who just took me out at the station? Oh, I didn't hit. I didn't hit. I didn't hit. That's gonna hurt though. Oh yeah, that I'm dead.
So what was that? Did somebody time that?
Well, I mean, I made it more than a minute, I think.
You spent half that time changing.
Nope, we got 2J Louis as red.
15 minutes left.
Oh, here, let me see.
He's in a caterpillar.
He's It's not red for me.
Yeah, I'm free to go.
Whoa! Oh, that was awesome.
How did the caterpillar survive?
The caterpillar survived that?
Yep, it's still up there.
Oh, jeez.
All right, I need to see how much damage you took from that.
I'm dead.
Oh my God, Jay, you took no damage.
He took out the 600 high with that thing. And now I can't claim the Pirate Gladius. Let's try a different. So.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
I'll even give you some free shots at it. I guess I did. No, I'm going in the back.
There's NPCs inside.
Roger that.
I've killed like 5.
I'm in. Oh shit, I thought I was in. EVA is not.
I'm headed up.
Yeah, EVA is not liking me.
I'm headed up to the cockpit.
Roger that. I'm in.
Come upstairs on the right side. Come upstairs, head for the bridge.
I do? How'd that happen?
Oh, now you don't.
Uh-oh. I didn't pull the pin, did I?
I can equip it.
Okay,
What's this
so
do if I hold this button?
You better hold on to that
Uh-oh.
thing, because...
Uh-oh.
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 Better get out
I
of
can't
here.
get rid of it, guys.
Oh, now we're all dead.
Yeah, that was a triple kill I just witnessed.
I see myself out of the bed now.
Yeah, you're on the floor next to it because Danger just blew us all up.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Oh, done already?
That was Type 9s out of nowhere.
It was probably that player.
Hey, all I know is we survived in the Reclaimer. Hey, let's go eat it now.
Pro noob is red.
Just in time before they do past it.
Yep, there it is. Just got kicked. All right, in 3, 2, 1, drop. That shockwave is hitting me at 1,000 meters.
Yeah, somebody lost some ship parts.
Somebody's falling out of the sky.
I saw that.
Who fell out? Was that you, Mando?
No, I'm still up here.
This is like covered in the cat, but it's still alive.
No, my saber is fine. Look.
Oh, it looked like it knocked. It looked like it knocked the engine off the Valk.
I think he only destroyed himself and the Gladius.
He knocked.
A little bit, but it didn't get destroyed.
Hey, look what I. Hey, look what I found.
What'd you find?
I found his body.
Oh, did you? You're dragging him?
Dude, look at this. Look at the cat's like smothering my mantis, but my mantis is fine. It didn't even take any damage. It didn't even lose any engines.
There is no way you're surviving that. Seriously? How many times do I have to run you over? Thank you,
Sometimes,
Foxhole,
second.
for the follow. I appreciate that. Hope you're having a good evening. How are you still alive? And there's the Moab dropping too.
Well, I'm dead.
I got hit
I'm
by
dead.
the shot.
I'm
but
alive.
I'm fine. I mean, I got
Right.
flipped around, but I'm still. Boxes you get. Oh, there's H3. There's H3. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You got me.
Nice.
Holy shit! How did you pull that off?
Luck.
We've restored control of the
Aim to the left of that tower in front of you.
Aim to the left of
The
it.
device controlling the
Yep,
anti-air
there's a
on
shuttle down
Harbor
there.
platform. The airspace should be safe now. Volunteers, be aware.
More to the right.
Anti-air
Stay out of the
defense
stay out of the
on
middle.
platform
Don't
has
even
been
bother
returned
going in there.
to Crusader control.
H3's telling me to go left. You're telling me to go right. Which is it?
We've
It's
restored
the right.
control of the
Try the right. Just try
anti-air
the
on
right.
Harbor
Just stay all the way to the right. I've done it twice now, so
Volunteers, be
Okay.
aware. The anti-air defense
stay all the way to the
on
right and just
Harbor
hug the
platform
whole
has been
side.
returned to
That'll
Crusader
keep the
control.
baddies away too.
We've secured the device
going to the
controlling
right,
the
all the way
anti-air on Hartmore platform.
Oh, down there.
Airspace should be safe
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay, this
Well, I don't know.
is-
Your stream's delayed, so I can't tell.
Don't go down there though.
No, that green grass. Oh yeah. You want to jump down there. See, the shuttle platform is where those cherry blossoms are.
Can I just fly twice, guys?
You can try.
Why do I always have issues finding my pants? Oh wait, I'm already wearing my pants. I need a torso.
Your eyes twitch.
Oh no! Don't! No! 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 Ah!
We're not gonna make this.
I'm trying to back
Quick,
out.
quick,
I'm trying
escape,
to back
escape.
out. I'm trying to back out. Trying to back out.
I'm opening the ramp.
Maybe too
Emergency.
late.
Emergency.
I called for it to open.
It just wants a hug.
No
I escaped.
crap.
I escaped. I
No
escaped.
crap.
Fail.
We're cut in half.
Yes.
No.
I see the inside, but not the exterior of your ship. It's weird.
Initiating ship storage.
Oh yes, initiate ship storage. Store the ship. Store the ship. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to day 2 of CitizenCon on this bright and early and, well, damn early morning. So early my dogs are still asleep. They don't even want to get up to eat. They are pooped after yesterday, and definitely we're feeling it as well, too. But we have day 2 coming up today and a fairly good schedule for today. There it is. And what we're going to be looking at today is going to be crafting your home, the basics of base building, and then captains of industry with the industrial ships and ship updates, followed by Stars My Destination, Star Citizen 1.0. And then after that, they go into the Atmo esports event, though I don't believe that's going to be broadcasted. So we will probably end after the last panel there. But definitely appreciate you guys all being here. Hopefully you got a chance to catch yesterday's portion of CitizenCon, which was a great show with playthrough of Squadron 42 Prologue, as well as great information on a number of other different things. And of course, the surprise visit of the Sandworm, which is actually going to be coming into Pyro. Hopefully no confirmation whether it's going to be with launch of Pyro or shortly after the launch of Pyro, but that looks like it's going to be a hell of a great mission to go out on and play. So a lot of surprises from yesterday's show. We're going to go ahead and cut the music and go over to the video here and the sound. We're watching on YouTube today because they had a couple of difficulties with their Twitch stream yesterday. So they're on about a 20-second delay over Twitch. But we're going to be viewing the YouTube broadcast of the show today if you want to follow along. And definitely feel free to leave your comments in the chat on anything that you see or that they go over. There's definitely a lot wake up. I'm only on my second cup of coffee. It's pretty bad when I get up and my dog's not even up. Buck got up to go outside, and the others just looked at me like they were nuts and then flopped back down in their bed.
I did the same thing.
I can't say I blame you.
Yeah, my chair's been full of
Yeah, you got that chair. You're gonna fall asleep during the presentation, probably. You got one of those scorpion chairs. I mean, right now, probably the highlight for me yesterday was the sandworm and some of the information about the org stuff that's coming in. We'll learn more about the org stuff today during the base building module.
What's your all's opinion? Because when I went back and watched the playthrough, the Legatus difficulty modes are still a constant.
I mean, I don't think it... Oh, go ahead.
Jared just spoke to that the Legatus mode is difficult, it's just Rich doesn't suck, so we'll have to see.
I mean, you figure the guy's probably played it all the way through 100 times already. I'm sure being the director, you know, he's no stranger to what person he wants to know. And you also have to remember, it was only the prologue. So basically, the prologue is there to help you learn the controls. I mean, it pretty much went through the walking, the crouching, the different things, med pens, go pick up a med pen, go to the medicogs. A lot of it is just a walkthrough of, the different controls and things that you can do, and a lot of more of a tutorial-based thing. But that, I think, they use it for the cinematics to really kind of get you enthralled in the story right off the bat. What's that?
The YouTube video that they re-released or whatever, it's like an hour and 16 minutes, so.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, watch the end. That's probably the biggest difference between the original playthrough and the new playthrough.
I mean, after watching that playthrough, I am excited to finally get to see it. There was a lot of flack given over the announcement of the anticipated release date, and a lot of people getting salty about you told us this time last year, that it's done, it's in polishing. It's like a lot of people don't think about it. The polishing can take multiple years. It can take 2 to 3 years. And, they're only 1 year into polishing. Going 2 years to polish is not uncommon. Cyberpunk was in polish for more than 2 years before it released as a trash fire. So, keep that in mind that, they announced the January 2026 date, but that's right in line with what polishing takes.
Also, they didn't start the development of 42 at the very beginning of the project either.
Yeah, and Ren, what's going on? Good to see you. What do I think about first day? I love the information the first day. I was excited about it after everything was over and we got to see everything. And 2026 is fine with me as well, too. Like I said, it falls right in the realm of what it takes to polish a game and right in the median range. And to be honest with you, I'd rather have them take that time and make sure it's in the best shape that it can be before they launch it. Why rush it?
I watched some of Salty Mike's stuff at different key moments, and he was pretty positive about a lot of it too.
Yeah, and he's usually a very, very honest person about his feelings about things. So, but yeah, I don't think 2026 is unreasonable. lot of times games don't get announced until they're already into, and sometimes even more than a year into their polishing phase before they get announced that they're going to be coming out. I was excited about the worm. I'm excited to try and see that hit the live servers and be able to load up and go out for that thing. I think you know, in lore of other you know, other franchises having worms like that, I think definitely the spinning of the congealed rocks definitely adds a little something more to the worm to watch out for. It doesn't mean that you're going to be safe in a ship. You like ground vehicles? Yeah, I do like the ground vehicles. I will have no problem volunteering to be the bait. Like I said yesterday, I'll probably be the first one in the group get swallowed by the stupid thing.
We'll have to temporarily name you Thumper.
I'll probably, you probably need to launch a ground vehicle. I'll probably just crash into the planet to bait it out.
I remember this day 2 of sitting in anticipation.
Yeah, when you were there last year?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm sure it wasn't at 5 a.m.
Oh, it felt like it.
Good morning.
Good morning, Anrol. Thank you for getting up early for today's event. Yeah, yesterday I was also excited to see this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Nyx was exciting.
Please welcome to the stage, master of the self-performed introduction and Mama Huckabee's second favorite son, Jared Huckabee!
Oh, he's not limping.
It's day 2. We liked it so much the first time, we're going to do it again.
He does look tired,
now,
though.
As the last guy during the pre-show said, day 1 was focused on the universe that we're creating. Day 2 is all about the destiny that you forge. Now, a little history lesson here. Back in 2015, the Persistent Universe was first launched. I think it was November or December and whatnot. Everybody remember Port Olisar? Everybody remember that one Big Benny's machine that somehow you could move it? And the Big Benny's challenge of spending hours and hours of just doing this? Trying to get that thing upstairs, downstairs, back into the hab. Shout out to Bad News Baron if you're watching. No, those were the days.
One day we'll be saying,
now,
remember when elevators were deadly?
The Precision Universe has grown. It's expanded. 3.0 arrived, and it had a whole bunch of new planets and moons and stuff like this. We've got Microtech, we've got Hurston, we've got Area 18, and what's the last one? We got Lorville.
What's the last one?
If you live with the developers, they still call them Stanton 1, Stanton 2, Stanton 3, so it's hard getting the two realities to reconcile in your head. But since this time, you've all been visitors. You've logged in and you've done your thing. You've gone on adventures. You've fought some xeno threat. You've mined some barrel, apparently a whole lot of barrel. Looking at that trivia from yesterday. But this entire time, you've been visitors. Starting next year, you stake a claim in the Persistent Universe.
Nice.
Starting next year, the Persistent Universe truly becomes yours. And we have got a handful of gentlemen to tell you how they're going to do it, how you're going to do it, and how amazing it's all going to be. So please welcome to the stage Design Director for Star Citizen and Squadron 42, one of my dear friends, one of my DMs. Hey, when are we playing again? That's not a good look. All right, please welcome to the stage design director Rick Porter.
Yeah, so this first module is going to all be on the base building and everything.
Thank you, Jared. And thank you, CitizenCon. It is an honor to be here. Yesterday, we presented the verse that we're creating for you. We shared new tech, locations, creatures, giant worm, social features, things we're doing with orgs. We even played the first chapter of Squadron 42 live. How great was that? Yeah? A few minor glitches, but nothing we can't sort out. So today, we got something just as exciting to talk about. But instead of focusing on what we're creating for you, we want to show you the world that you can build. With crafting, we're going to give you the tools to create your own loot, to build your own home. Crafting will fundamentally change not only how you play the game, but why you play the game.
Outside. Come on.
So, what is crafting? Why does it matter? Why should you be as excited as I am about this? Well, first off, crafting is a profession. It requires its own set of tools, the knowledge of how to use them. Crafting offers progression. You become a better crafter by learning new blueprints and upgrading them. Crafting builds on the existing gathering professions. When you would go out and you collect your materials for crafting, we are adding new depth and meaning to those activities. Crafting provides customization. There isn't just one way to craft something. Like I said, we have upgrades. How you make and upgrade the things you craft is sometimes just as important as what you're crafting. In addition, you can earn cosmetic upgrades, craft unique items, even subscriber flair. But nowhere is this versatility more obvious than base building. We're going to have nearly limitless options for how you construct your home, how to customize your base to meet your own goals. Most importantly, crafting gives you a lot of new choices. The choices will impact your goals in the game, your interactions with other players, and eventually how you see the game itself. So where do we get started with crafting? Well, you can't craft without materials. Luckily, we've got a lot of ways to gather resources in the game. And crafting is designed to complement and expand on all of these existing gathering professions, as well as future additions. Let's take a closer look at mining as an example. We've got hand mining and vehicle mining and ship mining. That's a lot of mining. But with crafting, we're going to introduce a lot of materials. So there's not just more to mine, but we're also going to specialize. So for instance, each type of mining will have its own unique materials to gather. Gathering specific materials efficiently will require you to use the right gathering profession. Let's talk about refining. Currently, only mining resources can be refined, but doing so allows you to turn them into more valuable processed resources. With crafting, we're going to expand refining to include options for all raw materials. In addition to expanding the variety of materials you can gather, refining lets you create processed materials that you're going to need to craft your upgraded blueprints. So now that you've gathered all these materials, what do you do with them? Currently, your only options in the game really are to sell them to a shop or maybe complete a contract. Adding crafting into the game radically changes your options. You can still mine, refine, and sell your resources, but now you have the option to make valuable and unique items, weapons, armor, even vehicles and ships.
Make
right?
vehicles?
I like where the crafting machine looks.
And by valuable, I mean that the crafted gear that you create has the potential to be better than anything you can buy in a shop.
Interesting.
But crafting just doesn't end with shiny new gear. Think much bigger. Crafting enables you to build your own home among the stars.
That's what I want to see.
Choose to make a farm, a hunting lodge, an industrial complex, your own trading hub, a military outpost, even a sprawling town with your friends and org mates.
Ice cream shop.
Can we have a Build-A-Bear on Pyro?
Got a lot here, but it's all optional. You can choose to focus on gathering resources and sell them to crafters that need them. You can skip gathering and refining and just focus on being the best crafter you can be. Or you can leave all that gathering and crafting nonsense to other people and just focus on trade and make some money. But that brings me to my last point. Player choice matters. When a player makes a choice, they assign value. Players' choices about crafting and base building will drive player trade. The community's choices will determine the value of the materials and the crafted goods you can all make. The game will still have its own shops and economy alongside players, but now you'll have more options about where you invest and how you prosper. Now, I've given you a nice overview of what we're working on here.
After playing the game the other night, I think Anril and H3, you can be the crafters.
The big picture,
I'm awful at crafting.
I want to introduce some of my fellow developers to come up on stage.
I can be the
exciting
gatherer.
details to share with you about the
Anril
specifics
says
of our new
as long
crafting
as orange
systems,
is an option.
important gameplay improvements, and most exciting, I think anyway, an update to base building.
I'll be happy to gather the materials. You guys can build everything
To
out
start
of it.
things off, please welcome Jacob Taylor to the stage.
Thank you, Rick. And hello, CitizenCon. Hi, I'm Jacob, Senior Gameplay Programmer on crafting. Rick has showed us how crafting will link into a lot of existing and new gameplay, but I think it's time we get into some of the details. I'm going to tell you about the new game mechanics we're introducing, starting with blueprints. Before you can craft anything, you'll need a blueprint. Blueprints provide the recipe to perform all kinds of crafting processes, including refining. You can acquire blueprints through various activities. Some you can buy, some you can find, and some can be unlocked or earned in other ways.
Research.
You can also upgrade your blueprints through research. We'll go into more detail about what this means a bit later. So, blueprints are the recipe, and Rick already told us the materials you gather and refine will be the ingredients. But there's a bit more to it than that. We have a new concept for materials, material quality. Quality is a property we're adding to all resources you can gather. That's an abstract measurement of how good it is at being whatever it is. You can think of this as the purity of a metal, or the ripeness of a fruit, or something along those lines. This quality will be carried forward from raw resources through the refining process to influence what that batch of materials is best used for in crafting. High quality is more desirable overall, but is more rare, and there are still important uses for low-quality materials. More on that later.
They're going really in-depth with this.
All raw materials you find in the verse will have a quality rating that's generated based on some rules, the same kind of rules you heard about from the Planet Tech team yesterday. You'll find the same material in many places, but with varying qualities, so you might want to explore to find the best. Some materials that are already rare will be even more valuable if you can find them with high quality. But what's quality for? It's for item stats. Alongside quality, we're introducing a new item stat system to the game.
Nice. My question is, the high-quality space cow tongue make a better double dog?
This will allow relevant properties of craftable items to be affected by the quality of materials used to craft them. For resources, just a single quality rating is sufficient to provide variation.
Space engineers
but
vibe.
craftable items have such diverse purposes that we need a more detailed system to provide both progression and customization options. We aim to have meaningful item stats for all craftable items, But some examples would be the damage and fire rate of a gun, the wear resistance of a ship component, or even the satiation provided by eating a hot dog.
There's the double dog.
Heard you.
Can you get that with some chili and cheese? No, definitely not a bad thing, Rin
as I
Master.
said, the quality of materials will directly affect the item stats,
Rin Monster.
such that higher quality results in better stats.
Wazzy.
Most items
space
require
egg hot
multiple
dog.
different materials to make, which may each influence different stats. And in many cases, you'll have a choice of materials to use, which lets you decide which stats to focus on to tailor your items to your playstyle. Here we see I'm making a gun with high-quality aluminium, giving me a nice bonus to integrity and weight. But someone sold me low-quality copper, so I don't get as much fire rate bonus as I could have. To go even further, researching your fabrication blueprints allows you to build higher tiers of an item with improved base stats. So a higher tier item will be better than a lower tier item that was made with materials of the same quality. Making high tier items requires more advanced materials, but is also how you access greater choice as to which stats to improve. This means that your high tier items can not only be better overall, but also more specialized in the areas that are important to you.
Nice.
Most items will have tiers 1 to 3, with tier 1 being the most basic version of the item, and tier 3 being a highly advanced version made with appropriately impressive
You
materials.
guys are probably going to give me all the tier 1 stuff because
But
I'm going to lose it when I die anyways.
You can also craft vehicles.
Where's the Endeavor?
The Endeavor's not coming out until the very few years ago. He said it's coming out very last.
And vehicles are so
Research,
important
crafting.
that they will go up to tier 5, providing a way for you to really invest
So
in making
instead of buying
your
a
favorite
Zeusing
vehicles
game, you
excel.
can just build one.
Of course, many of you have already bought your favorite vehicles, so you don't really need to make them from scratch, right? Or maybe you've pirated, salvaged, or otherwise commandeered a vehicle. Not to worry, you can still benefit from crafting by using an upgrade blueprint to increase the tier of an existing vehicle, including...
That is nice, being able to upgrade your vehicles.
Yeah, but
including the usual
how much
stat
is it gonna
improvements and customization.
Hopefully a lot.
Upgrading a vehicle can save a lot
And
of
at least
time
less
over
than an
crafting
entire
from
ship would.
scratch.
Yeah.
So it's a
One would
convenient
hope.
way for established vehicle owners to bring the benefits of item stats to their fleet. Let's take a look in-game at the difference it makes to have high-tier equipment made from high-quality materials.
But is it possible you're going to be able to go to Cousin Crows and pay them to upgrade
See how
your
the
vehicle?
recoil is reduced on our high-tier gun.
Engine recoil. Better.
The spooling is faster on a high-tier quantum drive.
Nice.
And a high-tier scraper beam is much more effective.
Oh, I like that.
So, that's an overview of crafting's key game mechanics.
That'll come in handy
I'll
with
now
mining,
hand over
too.
to Torsten to walk you through the full crafting process. Thank you, and have a good day.
Just no mining with grenades.
Yeah, I know. Rin, yeah, no, this is awesome. And it gives more flexibility to people in game that don't want to pledge a ship. They can just build
Thank you,
the ship
Jacob.
in game.
Hi, I'm Torsten, lead system designer of the CGP system design team.
Maybe we can build a RC with a boost and we'll actually go faster.
We now saw all elements of crafting looked at individually.
I'm sure it will take some decent
Let's bring
time.
them in order how you
You've just been having
as a
low
player
quality
experience
cyclones, that's the
crafting
problem.
You will start with acquiring the correct blueprints as the first step in the crafting process. As Jacob already mentioned, blueprints can be acquired in multiple ways. Let me give you some examples here. You can purchase commonly available blueprints, earn them from reputation and mission rewards, or even find them in loot crates. All content in our game could reward you with a blueprint. Some blueprints will be challenging to find, so players working together may find them easier to acquire. While you may
So it
find
sounds
a
like you'll
blueprint
be
on a
able to
data
share 'em
pad
and
or other
everything,
portable
too.
device, the blueprint itself is not a physical item.
Tell 'em.
You don't collect them in a box or stack them on a bookshelf. Blueprints are digital. Once you claim one, it is permanently added to your personal library. This library is persistent to your character, and every blueprint you claim is yours forever.
Or until death of the spaceman.
They cannot be stolen or traded once claimed. But it does not just end with acquiring blueprints. Those tiers of quality that Jacob mentioned are unlocked through blueprint research. Research requires a research data bank which can upgrade your blueprints. Upgrading here means that you unlock a blueprint that allows you to create a better, higher tier version of the same item using more advanced materials. Note, you will still have access to the lower tier versions if you want to craft the cheaper version. In order to upgrade a blueprint, you may need to perform certain actions. In this example, we need to craft 100-volt pistols and have one with a higher fire rate. Other examples would be collect resources, complete missions, or acquire research data from the Science Guild.
Eliminate 5 players with
Research is time intensive, in addition to the action requirements.
Nice.
It will take time for the research data bank to process your research data and unlock the upgrade. You are also limited in how many research projects you can pursue at once. Now that you have your blueprint and you decided what to craft, you also know what resources to look for. Every blueprint you find will have unique requirements in their resource needs. It will not just be you need iron. We want to make use of the professions we have to meaningfully involve them in the crafting process. Especially for the more advanced blueprints, you can expect that it will require materials from multiple sources. And, as already mentioned by Jacob, pay attention to the quality. If you want to have the perfect item, you also need the best quality. Here, the best way to find the best resources is to get out and explore the world. If you want to find the best hidden materials, then you get yourself a top quality radar. Once you collected the raw materials, the next step is refining them. Refining, like crafting, requires blueprints. Refining blueprints take primary, secondary, and catalyst materials and produce refined materials. The rule is very simple. The quality of the primary raw material defines the quality of the refined material. The secondary material you put in has an impact on the quantity and the time the refining process will take. An optional catalyst can speed up the process further.
Seeing if you was paying attention.
Let me give you a simple example. If you want high quality steel, you need to put in the best iron you have in the primary slot. You can put any quality coal in the secondary slot without affecting the quality of the steel. But the quality of the coal will influence how much of it you need to produce steel. As an example, if you put in low quality coal, you might require 4 SCU of coal versus high quality coal that only requires 2 SCU.
That makes
this is
sense.
one of the important
Yeah,
use
it's not
cases
bad.
for low quality materials that Jacob mentioned. You can use refining stations in the world as they will be converted to this new process. You can build your own refineries for yourself, you can get your org to help you out, or you can simply trade for the materials that you need on the open market. Now we are reaching the final step. You got the blueprints, you gathered resources, and refined materials. Now you can create the item you want. And this item can be anything. You will be able to craft anything from FPS equipment to vehicle components, even entire vehicles and buildings. You just need access to the relevant crafting machine.
Nice. and yeah, this will lead to a lot of time to consume,
Talking
but
about
also you don't have to
crafting
do it. Like they said,
We will
you
have
can
a
actually
variety
trade and
that
build
differ
this
in
stuff
what
and sell to other
process they
people.
can support, like a refinery or a dedicated vehicle crafting machine. We will also find them in various places. There will be communal ones like the station refineries you already know, player-owned that can be in your personal hangar, a vehicle, or your base.
In our hangar.
As all that we have talked about just now, these crafting machines also come in tiers. Here, the tiers will affect how well those machines do their job. You will not only progress in the products you produce, but also in the infrastructure to produce your wares. Just to give you an idea what you will encounter, here are some examples of the crafting machines. There is the nutrition fabricator, the chemical fabricator, an item fabricator, and even fabricators of a much larger scale we will talk about later.
You missed the bear one.
Yeah. But that's the good thing, that if you don't want to indulge the time into doing all this, I mean, you always have the option to buy it
Talking
from
about
people
scale.
that do.
I would like to talk about the
be in the
future of
research
crafting and the scale it will have in the game that you all know, and how it will change the game moving forward. As you all know, we have a lot of items in the game, and they all require their own unique blueprints. That means our aim is to have more than 1,000 blueprints that include the creation and the refining blueprints. And each of those can be researched to unlock tier upgrades up to tier 3 or tier 5. That's a lot of blueprints. And it will surely take a lot of time to unlock everything. So I, personally, recommend that you, as the crafter you are, focus on a specific field first and extend your knowledge from there. Collaborate and coordinate with your friends and fellow players. If you are part of a group, we invite you to share responsibilities with your org mates. Maybe you will be the FPS crafter while your friend is a ship crafter, but they know a ship component crafter specialist. There's a lot of content, and it will continue to grow over time. You are free to be a generalist crafter, a specialist, or something in between.
I like the mega sale
Pick the
sign.
blueprints you care about and be the best. Have an exotic shield generator that no one else has the blueprint for but you. Help others and earn credits while doing so. It is a real profession in the game that will benefit from your dedication and attention. As you can tell, crafting will have a huge impact on everything in the game. Even if you do not want to get actively involved, at some point you will stumble over a weapon that got crafted by someone else and you will be using it. People will start selling their crafting goods or the refined materials or even the raw materials for the sole purpose of fulfilling the demand created by crafting. Players like you can become well-known specialists that are sought out to get certain things crafted from.
I mean, with everybody that we got in the org, we got
we
that
will
covered.
continuously expand our crafting to offer you long-term progression that involves the entirety of our game. And you might have guessed it already, but there's one more thing that crafting is the foundation of.
I mean,
and
you
that
get
is
crafting down, you could probably make decent AUEC just selling off the stuff that you build to people that don't enjoy the crafting aspect and would rather just go
I will now hand
purchase
over
it.
to Luke. Enjoy the second part of this presentation.
I'll call you crap
Thank
to
very much.
noobs.
Like I said, oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna need the fighters in the guild to start collecting nine tails and coffins, so we can have test subjects.
Good morning, citizens.
There we go. Professor H3D. Like I said, I'll collect stuff. I'm horrible at crafting in any game.
I'll be mighty.
Who's excited to start talking about this next topic?
I'll keep my Orion chugging away, providing materials.
Let's get into it. My name is Luc Gijsbertse. I'm the lead environment artist on base building structures. Now that we have an understanding of the fundamentals of crafting, thanks to Jacob and Thorsten, we can explore how crafting is the foundation of base building. Up until now,
I gotta go check on dog
everything in the game we made for you. From here on, we will give you the tools to build your own stories, your own homes, and truly make the universe yours. Join me on a journey on building our own habitable home on Pyro. Keep in mind that the following footage is work in progress, including its UI, design, and visuals. And we're super excited to share this with you. We found a beautiful location by a lake. This is where we'll build ourselves a home. To do so, we need some resources and the construction graph card.
Nice.
The construction graph card allows us to survey the land, claim the land in a lawful system, and it allows us to build structures. As we've already found the location and don't need to claim land in lawless Pyro, we can straight dive into building our base. Keep in mind, the following UI is work in progress. A survey drone that deploys from the top of the card gives us a controllable augmented view of the land. In the new structure mode, we'll pick a small basic structure and hit construct. For this demo, the construction will be instantaneous, but in the final product, this will take you quite some time. We've done it. We've built our first structure. Let's have a look on the inside. As we walk into the small basic structure, we see an empty interior that is dimly lit. It's up to us to define what we will use this space for. In our case, we will want to make it into a home. We can see that the lights are still off, and that is a problem. Because no lights means no atmosphere, no breathable atmosphere. So it's not ideal to live in. So how do we solve this issue?
I got cleaned up.
We can improve this by providing the building with power. Let's see if we can build something that helps us out.
Nice.
But before we dive into more building, let's take a quick moment to enjoy the freedom that the survey drone provides us with and admire the aesthetics of our first structure. And I wonder what Declan was up doing there. Keep in mind that base building is still work in progress, but what you're seeing right now has been recorded directly in the client and works seamlessly between first person and the building mode.
Amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, enough. Back to base building. In the list of new structures, we see a small fuel generator. That is something that could solve our problem, I think. Power providing structures need to be hooked up to other buildings inside construction ER mode. But we'll explain this later.
Taste of
the fuel
satisfaction
generator
in the verse.
is one of several structures that provides power, each with their own benefit and drawbacks. Fuel power is quick and easy to build, but it requires a constant supply of fuel besides its regular maintenance. If a structure is not maintained, it will halt its activity. Players will need to maintain fuses to keep the building operational. The better crafted fuse, the longer it lasts. This is where the fuse goes on this building.
Gravity will have to build
Next up,
better fuses.
we have a terminal that gives us access to the status of our building. And, more importantly, we get to activate it here.
But if you're near water, do you have the option of like hydropower or things like that? I'm curious about.
Yeah. That should do it. Let's see if we got
Yeah,
power in
they
the
are.
building now.
I mean, if this is in game engine.
As you notice, some of the crates in the background have disappeared, as their content has been consumed during the construction process of the buildings.
I assumed it was pretty far along if they said next year.
And it looks like Declan is now hooking up the power to the power
Yeah, but when they say
to the
something
building.
like that, you don't know exactly how in depth they're going to get.
I wonder what he
with
was
it.
up to
That's a big
earlier, though.
question that would come up. But it looks like they're putting a good amount of depth into the game.
Declan has been busy decorating the place. As we can see, the lights are now properly
Fuses are gonna
working.
be, like,
we got
critical for
atmosphere,
everything.
And we can start to use the item fabricator now that there is power. Always handy in case we need a fuse.
Fabricator's already in.
Let's have a quick look at what we've done so far. We've decorated the place. We made it our own little home. We hooked it up with power. I would say we have a place that we can live in. It might not be much, but I think it's just enough to call it a home. Thank you.
Nice.
Now that we have a rough understanding of how base building works, let's dive into some of the specifics of what we just saw. The construction graph card is one of 4 devices used for base building. The graph card is a mobile device that lets you construct a variety of small structures and has been designed specifically to fit into the smallest ships, like the Drake cutter. The graph card allows us to survey the land, to find a good location, to claim the land with credits when we're in a lawful system like Stanton, and most importantly, it lets us build structures. To use the graph card, we will first need to deploy it. Once deployed, we see 2 small construction drones inside the card, and the interactive screen gets revealed to us. From here, we can deploy the survey drone from the extended top part of the card. This survey drone gives us a bird's-eye view of the surrounding area using augmented reality mode, ER mode for short. Let's have a look at some UI concepts of how this augmented reality mode will look like.
Biker, I don't
Here's
think
a
you'll
concept of construction
necessarily
ER.
have to have it, but I would imagine
From
you'll
here,
need
we get a
base
more
building
detailed
ship
view
to
of the
handle
land.
larger structures.
Where
possibly.
can and can't I settle? For an example,
good morning.
inside a nature reserve, construction will be prohibited.
J-Scale's BMM is J-Scale's
Are nearby areas flat enough to place my structures on? Are there any underground extraction deposits nearby? And if so, what are their quality and quantity? Let's say we found a good place to start building our base. Then next up, we need to find a good place for our first structure. On the left-hand side, we can see that we're now in structure creation mode. Underneath that, there is a list of structures that we can build. Once you have chosen a structure, you'll drag it onto the terrain that will be shown then as a physicalized hologram. From here, you can move and rotate to find the perfect position for your structure. Now that we have chosen a position for our structure, we will need to supply it with crafting materials. Just like the crafting interface that we saw earlier, this is where you choose the materials, and the better materials you choose will result in a better structure. Once you're ready, we'll hit the craft button on the right bottom to send the construction drones printing to the buildings. The automated construction drones will take off from the construction graph card and fly to nearby resources to fill their internal storage, and then fly over to the construction site to print the building until their internal storage has been depleted. The construction drone then repeats the loop by filling its internal storage again by nearby resources. Printing buildings will take some time. Keep the construction supplied so that you don't delay the process any further. Let's say our building did just finish printing, then what? Then we need power. We need to power the building. All structures will have an unpowered and a powered state that we can manage inside the resource manager. To provide structures with power, we can easily link generators to structures that need power in the resource management menu within Construction ER. We can also link multiple buildings together. And we can assess the power consumption and shortage of, inside this resource management screen. Keep in mind that operational structures, like power generators, require maintenance of their fuses and sometimes need supplies coming in and going out to be managed. Now that we have a structure and power, what can we do next? Then we can actually upgrade our structure. Structures can be upgraded from tier 1 till tier 3. The better material you provide, the better the improvement will be. Just like Jacob and Thorsten explained in the crafting presentation. Tier upgrades can, for example, improve the structural integrity of the building, or make its resource consumption more efficient. To really make your base feel like home, you will want to decorate your base with a wide variety of furniture pieces that can be bought, crafted, and found in the universe.
You gotta build your furniture too.
It's up to you to define what you want this space to be. Do you want to decorate it as a hospital? Do you want to make it into a workshop? Do you want to make it into a luxurious bedroom? It's up to you.
We'll definitely need medical.
Furniture can easily be placed and moved using decorative ER mode as an hologram. This is so your furniture can easily fit through doors. This feature is accessible through nearby construction devices, allowing you to place down furniture pieces or even crafting machines that otherwise wouldn't fit through the door. And you get to place them directly from your local inventory. The less trusted among you, or anyone settling in Pyro for that matter, may want to mag-lock their furniture into place, so that only you and your friends get to rearrange your decorations.
Come on, find out somebody broke into your house and stole all your furniture.
Decorative ER is not exclusive to base building and can also be used for personal hangers and ships.
House Flipper 2954.
To recap, what are the essentials for any base? 1. Come prepared, bring the right resources and a construction device with you. 2. Use the resource manager, power generators to make your base habitable and functional.
Yeah, that's
and maintain
one
your
question.
base
If you have multiple
with resources
generators,
and by replacing out worn fuses.
Construction generators
And 3.
with the drones, can
personalize
they
your
work in
base,
conjunction to make it
personal
go
hanger
faster?
and ship with decorative ER.
Security.
And there we have it, our home in Pyro. Now that we have an understanding of the basics of base building, we'll explore how you can go and make more than just a home. But before I hand you over to Declan, the designer behind base building, I'd like to say a quick thank you for those who made this presentation possible. So a quick thank you to Eddie, Brandon, Jack, Dan, Mark, Xiao, Stefan C, Dom, Stefan T, Carl, Joel, and Rob for your efforts and dedication.
Wasn't the Sen was originally a science vehicle?
Now give me a warm welcome for Declan.
It was mostly for surveying planets so you could find mineral resources, all sorts of stuff, and then sell that information. That's how they were building it originally.
All right. Thank you, Luke. Good morning, everyone. Morning. My name is Deck. I am the system designer behind crafting and base building, and we've just seen a nice little base, right? That's good for cabin in the woods. Maybe you want to place it down next to big redwoods, go and explore, or a place to stash some loot you perhaps shouldn't have. But, do you want to see a big base? Yeah. Good, because we're going to industrialize. So we're going to set ourselves a goal before we do a video, and we're going to create a base that's capable of crafting something that's bigger than the item fabricator can handle. There's been a bit of a spoiler already as to what it's going to be.
This is where things like the Pioneer.
So to kick us off, called in the help of a friend who has a specialized, not yet revealed base building vehicle, and he's built us this. It is the construction hub. This has 4 automated drones compared to the GravCarts 2.
Practical jokes.
They can build small, medium, and large buildings. So far, we've only seen small. Automated drones are capable of building 1 structure each simultaneously, so 4 is quite a big advantage.
Nice.
Oh. Nice.
We'll pop into our construction AR and we'll get down a generator, we'll connect some buildings together just so we have a place to call home before we begin. All right, there we go. So we've settled on one of the brand new underground resource deposits, and we're about to exploit it using this. It is our extractors. This particular one is a large, solid extractor. We'll also have liquid and gas, depending on which type of deposit that you've settled on. We have our output grid here, where we're getting all the brand new resources up out the ground.
Gonna want to do some heavy scouting to find a good place for this.
And it is important to note that once these things are set up, it's not a case of just free resources forever. On key structures like this, there are fuses which will occasionally be replaced, as well as environmental wear which can be fixed using crafting materials.
Oh, damn. Nice. I like that.
All right, now we want to turn those raw resources into more valuable refined materials. We saw the process talked about earlier with Thorsten. Of course, we want this. It is our refinery. Once again, there are multiple types here. This one is the large solid matter refinery. We have liquid and gas again, as well as biological, depending on the type of materials that you're using and want to produce. Refinery has input and output grids. For input, as you might expect, it's for the resources which you're going to consume, and then the output is for the resulting refined goods. This is a terminal where you'd select which blueprint you want to use, and therefore which type of refining method you want. A lot of crates here with our extractor and our refinery, so we're going to put down our elevator storage. Base is really starting to build up now, but it's worth me mentioning again here that whilst we're putting these buildings down instantly in this video, large structures like this, they will take some time with the automated construction drones, but the smaller scale base we saw in the previous video, that can be done in a single play session.
H3, there's your mule.
No, can we just train Jimmy to drive it?
Yeah.
We'll just keep on putting down more extractors because we want as much as that valuable resource out the ground as quick as possible. And with base building, we're introducing the concept of a freight elevator network. What this will allow you to do is it will allow you to link multiple freight elevators together, and in turn they will share the same storage. So as we're doing here, we'll deposit an item on freight elevator A.
I like that. They're just trying to get us to
retrieving it
all
on
the
freight
planets
elevator
with
B.
all the
There is a distance limit, but you can daisy chain the elevators together to extend that, and it has to all be contained within the same base.
Ah, that didn't lock down to the grid.
Now, as we expand, we might want to invite more people to join us. This is easy to do. There will be permissions that we can set up, granting people access to our base, and they can even build their own structures if they wish. We can also give them access to existing structures, which is how you can form your org storage using those freight elevators.
Nice.
Can't wait to build our org base.
I mean, that's going to be probably a whole stream on its own, just flying around looking to where we want to build it. I mean, think about it. We also have people with multiple, you know, we have multiple people with pioneers. We could have more than one. It's just a matter of keeping it fueled until everything keeps running.
You stepped away when they said it. You can actually buy the land.
Right, yeah, no, they had already announced that, but the Pioneer also comes with a single See, it has this large, we call it a foundation tile. It's quite special in that it can actually deform the terrain around it, making it easy to place such a huge structure like this. Nice. You can also place other buildings on it, so it's easy for making large, sprawling bases. However, there is one final piece of the puzzle that we need to achieve our goal, and it is this, our very own fabrication hangar.
Nice.
A fabrication hangar.
Does anyone want to guess what we're going to build in
So
a
where does
fabrication
the Crucible
hangar?
fit in all this?
Well, I mean, the Crucible is a
An Idris,
flying
maybe not
repair
an
and,
Idris, if I'm
rearm
honest.
ship.
I'm a Pioneer.
We'll have a drive around, we'll go to the entrance and we'll see
I
what's in
would
store for us.
imagine the Pioneer is going to be involved with doing all of this.
Yeah, so he's gonna probably build the new ship.
I mean, you would think that it's going to probably store materials and all that, and may even be what puts that giant crane down.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll allow you to put extractors and all that on asteroids where you can mine materials.
Looks like whatever
in
it
a
is,
belt.
it's just about finished crafting.
I almost wonder if Pioneer will end up with its own purpose.
I mean, it's just construction.
Of course, we were going to build ourselves a ship. So, quick recaps of the gains from industrializing. We've tapped into the brand new resources and we've made use of them by turning into the more valuable refined materials. We've introduced freight elevator networks, which are great for logistics and hauling. And then we've created our fabrication hangar, which allows us to craft big valuable items such as ships. Now, ships are valuable because you can fly them, you can play content with them, but because they are a crafted item, they can also be sold to other players.
Oh, so we could have our own ship shop.
Yep. So, with base building, you're going to be able to set
Can
up
we
your
offer
own shops, and
financing?
there's two main ways you can do this. The first is using a dedicated trading terminal. You can link these to your freight elevators, and in turn, any items within can be listed for sale at a price you deem reasonable. This includes resources, refined materials, and so on. Using the terminal, visiting players can browse what's on offer, purchase, and then collect from that same freight elevator. The second method is to set up a physical shop in the world. By using the decorator AR we saw earlier with Luke, you can maglock items and then list them for sale.
Nice.
Once again, browsing players, they can see the price of the maglocked item, purchase it, which then removes the maglock. Of course, the nice thing with physical shops is you can genuinely make it feel like a store. You can put items on shelving. You can even go as far as to make your own ship showroom. You can advertise your wares on a mobile pass for UEC. However, it is important to note that the point of purchase will always occur at the base itself.
Nice.
Now that we know how to set up shop, I just want to take a moment to talk about why it's so impactful for crafting and base building the game as a whole. Understandably, throughout this presentation, we've been telling you why you want to craft all these things or why you want to build this big base. But maybe you don't have the time to build a big base and maintain it. Maybe you want to spend your time doing the missions, you want to do your beacons, that's how you want to make your credits instead. Shops mean that you can benefit from the players who do want to spend the time making those bases or crafting those specialist items, and then you can purchase them from them, which is very important because crafted items using high quality materials will be the most powerful in the game. On the flip side, if you do specialize, maybe you end up cornering the market for a particular item or resource, and your shop will then turn into a hotspot of activity, making you loads of credits. Some of you will become infamous because of it. But bear in mind, a successful shop also depends on location. Do you want your customers on edge in Pyro, which tends to have the higher quality materials? Or do you want to spend time hauling them all the way over to safer systems where your customers can be more at peace? We've talked about selling items. Let's sell the look of your base. We have foundation tiles, which can help you divide up the foundation decals, which help you divide up the foundation tile. You can place them freely wherever you want, and they just help you mark up areas like, I want to use this place for cargo, I want this for housing, vehicles, and so on. You'll be able to earn paint in-game and apply them to buildings.
Nice.
Nice.
You can add your own text.
As well as add your own custom text. So if you're part of an org, the blue buildings that have your name are definitely yours. We have some forms of base building which are either still in the design phase or early white box, but we want to share some details. First up, we have farming and ranching. Farming, it comes in two general types. We have our low-tech farming and then high-tech. Low-tech consists of you acquiring the seeds, planting them in the appropriate environment. If you remember back to yesterday, the Brave New Worlds, we had soil types and such now. That'll play a part. As well as supplying them with nutrients and then just harvesting them when they're grown. High-tech, it's a bit more involved because you've got to make the hydroponic buildings we see here, but in return, you'll be able to grow exclusive strains of plants. Ranching will allow you to keep herds of animals. You'll have to provide them with feed, water, and shelter, but in return, they will provide you with produce. Not every animal can be ranched. I don't really see a sandworm ranch anytime soon, but the quasi-grazer will, of course, will.
Okay, now we
Not
got
yet.
a challenge. We need
Maybe.
a sandworm
No.
ranch.
Yep.
We have a few more additional archetypes. We have landing pads,
Juggernaut, thank you very
garages,
much for the
roads,
follow.
fencing, as well as new variants of structures which we've seen today. For instance, the power generator, there'll be solar power, fusion, geothermal, as well as the XL structure class. If you remember, everything we've seen today, the biggest we've seen today, rather, is large. XL is larger than large.
That's probably where the Pioneer's going to
And then you have your defense.
Yep.
So, in lawful areas, you have varying levels of security provided for you. With max security, you are protected by planetary shield tech. However, in lawless, pyro and the likes, you'll have to provide your own defenses. These come in the form of perimeter walls, shielding, which prevents aerial bombardments, and then a range of automated turrets, such as PDC to shoot down missiles, anti-air, anti-vehicle, and anti-personnel. To round up, whilst we spent this entire time talking about how you can expand a single base, you can, of course, have multiple. These can be across a single planet,
well, thank you,
moons,
Biker, and we
across
welcome
multiple
Juggernaut.
systems. There are advantages and disadvantages of locations and base types. For example, in lawful areas, you'll need to buy your land for UEC, pay a tax to be able to build, and then you'll gain protection in return. In lawless, no cost, higher chance of better quality materials, but no security to fall back on. A small cabin in the woods can be great to set up in a single play session with short build times. However, the large base we just saw will take days, weeks, or even months, depending on how big you want to go. You might want to embark on this endeavor as a team or an org. You can set up a base as an org and own it as the org. This will be something available.
Oh, thank you for the resubscribe.
Facebook can be your main gameplay or a supplementary one, depending on what it is that you value. On that final note, I would like to say thank you on behalf of the crafting and base building teams. We're
Yeah, I have a
very
feeling
excited to
Pioneer
share
will
with
come
you
into
some of
play
the work
with
so
the
far
XL
and the vision
size.
we have for these systems. But before we go, we have one final video.
That looks gorgeous. Being able to build hangars and everything. There we go. We'll just have to find ourselves a little island.
Probably not a bad idea.
No, definitely not. And I like the fact that if you're in a lawful area, you get, you pay the tax, you get security. Down javelin. That looks awesome.
I could see the construction ships useful for remote bases that you just want to have for a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think the Pioneer
Thank
may
you. I'd just like to say thank you especially to Kian and James Way that worked very hard on this, and you might see that base again later today, so stick around. Thank you.
I mean, the Pioneer is huge.
Yeah.
Hello, CitizenCon. I'm Kirsten, your core tech producer, and I'm here off the back of that amazing presentation with Thorsten. How are you feeling, Thorsten?
Much better now.
That was an incredible view to what players can expect next from crafting and base building. Do you want to tell us a bit more about the crafting system and what players can expect to come next?
So I think we talked a lot about that already in the presentation, but it's a really dramatic change, or an exciting change, I would say, to the game, because we give the resources a meaning apart from just a monetary value. Now, even with the quality system that we now implement, there will be also a meaning to scout for like the perfect material. And of course, you need a bigger variety of the materials to be able to craft the items you need. And
that's going to be
especially
the big thing,
now with the tiered system that we will introduce, we also give a meaning for you as the crafter or the player you are to invest the time to be the best or the specialist. Because something that is very important to us is that we treat it as a real profession, and we have it as in parallel to all the other professions that we already have.
So it's not just about making the universe more dense, it's also about making it more interactive and making everything in it more valuable.
And more meaningful, yeah. So something that is also important for us is that everything that we do for this new feature is that we meaningfully integrate it into the game, so it all makes sense, right? So also with like the recent changes we did to the itemization in 324.2, we also, like, this is the starting point of all the changes we will be doing for all items, and that the reason why we did those changes were just because of crafting.
That would be my guess.
So what impact will the crafting system have on orgs?
Well, as also mentioned in the presentation, like, we want to see orgs building an empire of crafting or of manufacturing items and being like the get-to point for players to like go to their base and buy in their particular shops the items that they inherit, that they have the best, for example, FPS weapon for.
And I'm guessing that'll tie in quite well to the biomes we saw yesterday as part of the core engine presentation, right?
Yeah, the biomes will also heavily affect what we do for crafting, because it also will give us a good opportunity to spread around resources in more interesting places, like the giant forests you saw, right? For example, if you have a prospector as a miner, it might not be efficient, or you might not even be able at all to go down into the trees to mine anything that is below it. So you need to grab your ROC or your FPS mining gear to actually grab the resources that you can only find in those particular areas. So yeah, we will benefit a lot from this.
I do like the idea that
super
now
excited.
our mining is going
well,
to...
on that
and
note, how
probably
has this CitizenCon
more
compared
purpose
to
than just
previous
get the
years?
stuff
You were
and sell
at
it.
LA last year. How is it to be back here in
We're
Manchester?
going to be able to do
It
the mining,
looks a bit
do the
smaller,
refining, store it,
but
and then
I got
just
told
save
it's actually
it
bigger.
up
So
that we can use
yeah,
those
so
resources to build those
I really
bases.
like the location, like the theme it has. I like the community
And a fast
area with
RC for
the
gravity.
cargo crates. So I think it's really nice. Yeah.
Aw. Is there any specific highlights so far for your CitizenCon today and yesterday?
Yeah, vehicle upgrades.
So
like
it's
the
a very
yeah,
it's a very subjective take on it, but I really liked our presentation about the orgs and the social stuff, because I'm part of an org myself.
Because I
So
would imagine a
I
higher
really,
tier
really,
cyclone
really
would be a
looking
little
forward
more
to
speed than a low
better
tier
tools to
cyclone.
organize our
like an
trainings,
indestructible
our
box.
works, our events.
Do you want to give a little shout out to your org?
Get the
whilst
tier
you're
3
here on camera?
dragonfly that doesn't explode.
Shout
when
outs
it
to
touches the
Aras.
ground.
Yeah.
Nice one. All right. Well, on that note, we're going to throw to Dan.
Okay, he's live.
Back to the community booth section here at CitizenCon
coffee.
2954.
What's
We are
that?
here back, and we are with
More
some old
coffee.
friends. We are here with
Yeah.
Test Squadron. I want to give a quick
Which is probably
apology
30
to my
seconds to a
good
few
friend
minutes faster
O
than
Lefty.
YouTube,
Sorry
so
for
I've
calling you
been
D
watching
Lefty
the
last
Twitch
year.
thing.
I promise it's not because D is the first letter of my
of course,
name and I'm a narcissist.
is the
That's
Captains of
probably why.
Industry,
So apologies for
where
that.
they're
But
gonna get
awesome.
into
Chrome Ninja,
ship
tell us about
updates
Test Squadron and why you guys are
and
back
all
here
that.
at CitizenCon.
So
What's
while
Test Squadron
we're
all
waiting
about?
for that to get
Yeah, so
started,
Test
which will
Squadron,
be
we're
here
the
in just a
largest
few
gaming org in
minutes,
Star
I'm going to
Citizen.
step
We've only
away
got
and get another
2,000
coffee
people. I
myself.
think I checked it the other
and
day.
I'll leave this running.
Just
We'll be
hitting
right
over
back.
23,100. But we're a casual gaming org, and we're here giving away free stuff. We've got all this stuff.
Yeah, I pulled up the YouTube.
Awesome. There's some cool swag here. We got coasters, we got pins, we got pens, tons of awesome stuff here at Test Squadron. If you guys are looking to join a sort of friendly way to join Star Citizen, Test Squadron is the place to do it. We're going to move on. Thank you so much, Chrome Ninja. We're going to move right along to my good friend Tom Beckhauser. Tom, how's it going?
Yeah, I can say for sure
so
that
I'm Tom Beckhauser.
I'll be
I'm a
diving
real-life
into
racing
base
driver
building
and Star
as
Citizen
soon as
Twitch
it's
streamer.
available.
And for this year, Locus 69, Pretty Vanilla, and I decided to make a 1:200 scale Banu Merchantman made out of resin. Total of 26 individual pieces that we assembled, primed, sanded, and painted.
Tom, this thing looks amazing. I mean, in addition to being a badass race car driver, you're also a badass model maker. This guy, there's nothing he can't do. I see you're giving away some Banu Merchantman little minis.
Room?
We also
As
have the
in
little
space on the planet?
Or sorry, the BMM pins, and we have the Defender mini.
Yeah,
sorry,
we
I got
like
those mixed
Defender
up.
as well, so if we build a big org base,
Yes, you gave me one the other day. This is awesome. Tom, people can find you at twitch.tv/Tom Beckhauser. If you guys are interested in checking out more of Tom's awesome stuff, go check him out. Tom, thank you so much for being here.
It's literally everywhere.
I mean, look at that. Take a look one last time at the BMM before we move on. So freaking cool. Thank you, Tom, for coming over. We're going to shoot now over to Sam, who is here at
Genesis,
Sam, take it away.
System, there'll be going to be a hell of a lot of planets
I'm
out
here
there.
with
that we can-
ADI,
there'll be
and they
space
have
for.
something really cool this year.
Yeah, at some point.
Welcome to the ADI ASOP
My new
Vehicle
goal is to
Retrieval
become the
System.
Stark of Star Citizen.
Again, did I sound like me? Or could you give us a quick intro
Also
to
gives
what you
us an
guys are
idea
doing
of what
here?
our booth
Yeah,
would
this
be
is the
next
Area
year.
18 ASOP terminal and freight elevator terminal. We have, a fully interactive experience here, and we tied this in with our giveaways for this year.
Nice.
So we have Freight Manager as well, and this is where you can take what's this? A hacking card. We have Tiger's Claws that we've been giving out. You have to search for them. You put in, and you go through the hack experience.
Sweet.
Unfortunately, ADI is an anti-piracy org, and this is a mongrel hacking chip, so we don't want it.
Boo, I'll go take it back to Mongrel then. Come on, let's go take it back to those guys. Come on, guys. Crime never pays.
Piracy's not a real game. We're going to do a sales
We kill for fun.
Amazing. So, right, thank you. So, what are you guys showing off at your booth today?
Well, we are showing off Mongrel Squad to begin with, but also our sister orgs, as you can see, where we have the auxiliaries, the pack rats, and the cartel, which run the prison, but also ourselves, the premier pirate org, entirety of Star Citizen.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to move right on to the next guys. Thank you for showing off your booth, and hopefully we'll get to some folks to visit you throughout the day today. So, I have bumped into this guy again.
I'm back.
Hi.
Awesome. Well, I'll take it from here. Thank you, Sam. And finally, for our last little bit of the community booth for this segment, we still have a little bit more to go over today. We have Atmo. Now, you guys all know Atmo at this point, creators of the Daymar Rally and a ton of other amazing events. They also have an event here in Manchester after the show. If you guys haven't gotten tickets for that, please go get them right now. They're going to be over at Viva Studios after the show. Be sure to check them out. We love Atmo. They had an official place here last year. And as you can see, they also have planned out for the 2955 Daymar Rally these awesome trophies that they're going to be mailing to the winner. These things are hefty. These things actually weigh a ton. I will absolutely be trying maybe to go to the Daymar Rally just so I can try them out, although we all saw my playing earlier today. So maybe not. But you guys do some awesome work. Thank you guys for all you guys do at Atmo. We're excited to see your guys' event later tonight. Be sure to check out Enter Atmosphere at Aviva Studios later tonight if you're here in Manchester, or check it out on the stream. Well, I think that's it for us for right now. We'll be checking out the rest of the community booths later. Sam, anything else to add?
Nope, just straight over back to you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Crafting and base building fundamentally change all life in the persistent universe. Just a little bit, right? There's more of that coming later today, by the way. Before I get to my deep honor to introduce two of my favorite people, I do want to call out these lovely little note cards here. You've seen many of our presenters and our hosts carrying them here. I have not been carrying mine, and I probably should have. This one just says, "Don't run."
I gotta imagine.
This one says, "Thank Kat and Mandy," but also Tyler and Leah. Guys, can we get a round of applause for Tyler and Leah, please? Now, Tyler, you probably know, is our director of community. Tyler is what we call internally as a product owner. He is the product owner for CitizenCon. So everything that you see here at this event this year is touched in one way, shape, or form by Tyler Wicken. So please give a round of applause for Tyler Wicken.
Personally, me.
And because Tyler Wicken can't do anything by himself, Leah is the one who does most of the hard work. So Leah, who will never be on camera and who hates to be embarrassed, please give a round of applause for Leah, please. This one just says, "Learn to stretch." This one says, "Don't let the intrusive thoughts out." I almost lost it with that rabbit weasel thing yesterday. This one says, "Hi, Dad." Hi, Dad. And this one says, "Don't run," crossed out, "Don't roll on the stage, dummy." All right, so that's enough for me. Guys, our next presentation is our annual ships presentation, this year titled Captains of Industry, being presented to you by two people who almost certainly need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. Ben Curtis was born in Manchester. No, I'm just. Vehicle art director Ben Curtis and, gosh. Oh, I was going to do something really embarrassing. All right. John Crew, you're saved. Come on out, John Crew. You're lucky they didn't wait. You're lucky they didn't wait. Cheers, Mom.
Hi, everybody. It's good to see you all again.
Waiting for.
Love you too. Excited to be here. In case you don't know me and you weren't listening to Jared there, which I do quite a lot, my name's John Crew. I'm the vehicle director.
My name's Ben Curtis. I'm the vehicle art director.
These guys probably catch more flack than anybody.
And the clicker is not working. Oh, so if you've got technical difficulties,
you have to do a dance, John.
The infamous clicker strikes again.
Yep.
There we go.
There we go. Good.
Right. Oh, there's the Pioneer right there.
So, today we're going to be talking about the vehicles to build your universe. And for those of you that watched the previous presentation, which is awesome, about base building and crafting, you should be familiar with the construction grav cart. And you've seen how this works. You might be wondering, well, if I've got this, why do I need some vehicles to do things? I know there's going to be some of you that will be perfectly prepared to go push this thing hundreds of kilometers out of the garages at New Babbage. But realistically, you're going to need a ship to put it in. It can't carry supplies by itself, so you're going to need to put supplies in the ship, move them.
We can duct tape them
And it has small drones. And that's the key aspect there. It has 2 small drones on board. And drones will have sizes.
Okay, so, yeah, basically everything you're going to be building in Star Citizen has its size class. A lot of you are familiar with how we class our ships and a lot of other things in our game. So it ranges from small all the way up to large and extra large.
Oh,
and
so
our drones kind of fall into those
production.
classes as well.
multiple
But what does it
buildings
really
at the same
mean,
time
the
if
difference
you have
between
more
what's a
drones.
small drone, what's a large drone, what's a larger than large
Makes
and
sense.
extra large, and so on.
And larger drones can build small
a
things
medium
quicker.
drone, for example, can build any structure up to a medium size. So it can build smalls, mediums, and it will be able to build small structures faster than what a small drone would. So the size makes difference depending on how big you want to go. But the drones also scale in they scale in numbers. In the one drone can only make one structure at a time. So the grav cart's got 2 drones on it, so they'll be able to create 2 small structures. But a medium, or if you've got
Just
a
use
vehicle
the
that carries
Pioneer for
multiple
everything.
drones, you can craft a lot more structures, a lot bigger sizes. And that's kind of really the key to kind of like the upgrade path through the kind of drone sizes. So we've had a look at the small. So what's next? What do you want to build? A medium?
Because the Galaxy's going to have a base building module as well.
I know some of you have already seen it, but this is the CSV from Argo.
Nice.
So launching
orange.
today is the very first ground vehicle from
Isn't
Argo,
everything from
the
Argo
Construction
orange?
Support Vehicle, CSV.
Yes.
So this specialized chassis is developed to take on all the conditions on all our planets. It's a little
It's in the
rugged
store. I
beast
just
that
bought one.
really does just go everywhere. And if you're constructing a new settlement, there's 2 things you need. You need drones to build it, you need supplies to supply the drones to build it. And that's why the CSV comes in 2 variants. So we have the CSV FM, which stands for Fabrication Module. So this has 2 medium drones on board, and we built it to fit in as many vehicles as we could practically get it to fit in. So it fits in vehicles from a Cutlass Black upwards. It's approximately, and everyone always asks me, what ship fits in what, and I lose track of it all the time. It's about the size of a Tumbril Cyclone. So if you can put a Cyclone in a vehicle, you can put one of these in it.
Cool.
Obviously, 2 medium drones on board, and then it has an internal storage tank for resources. So it has a very small version of a freight elevator built into the back of it. So you feed it 1 SCU crates, it absorbs them into the holding tank on board, and then the drones will come back to the vehicle to refill. And it also has a size 0 serial generator on board for a bit of added protection. What happens when you run out of resources? This is where the CSV SM for supply model comes in. So the second CSV-based vehicle in the game, and this has a traditional 4 SCU cargo grid on the back. So 4 1 SCU boxes, 2 2 SCU boxes, 1 4 SCU box. Depending on what you buy, you can use this to bring it and move it around. So this is the perfect companion vehicle to the CSV FM. Said that.
It's just the
Shield
SM
generator
is
as
in the
well.
Yeah,
Moves
only
about
the
28
SM's
meters a
in the store
second.
right now.
I cannot, my brain is fried. I can't remember what that is in miles per hour or kilometers per hour. And it is available right now to drive in SC Alpha 324-2.
I got mine and the white paint.
CSV.
Warbond, $40.
The base paint is all I need.
So now,
The Warbond
let's take a
comes
little
with
closer
great
look at the
paint as
vehicle,
well.
and Ben's going to go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the white.
You can get
Okay,
a
so what we're
pack with the
seeing
raft
here
and
is the in-game
and
version
CSV.
of the CSV.
Yeah, but I already have the
It's complete
raft.
with its 4 SCU of cargo
Yeah.
up on the rear.
So your mule's going to have some
And I
competition.
think the CSV
there,
kind of really
H3.
builds on what Argo is known for as a manufacturer. It's got those kind of like really
Yeah, we'll just
kind of
throw it on top
hard
of this one.
industrial looks. And I think it helps it kind of feel at home on any build site.
I guess I have to start
All
calling
of
this
its
thing the Ford
components
Ranger.
are easily accessible. And I think the exterior is like real dominating factories, those kind of large all-terrain
More
wheels.
of a Peterbilt.
And then that's kind of backed up by just simple, smooth, sleek lines. We've got the front-loaded cab that puts all the controls kind of
The surprising
right in
thing
there,
is it's still
where
faster
Stan
than
needs
the
them.
RC.
And I think that's one of the keys to the ship as a whole, or the vehicle as a whole, sorry, is it's simple, it's purposeful, it's functional, and I think that just kind of just helps it to kind of feel part of that Argo family.
I like it.
But what if you want to go bigger?
Bigger?
Bigger. Okay.
Mrs. Starlancer.
So, introducing the Starlancer family. So, yeah, the Starlancer is basically a whole new family of vehicles from MISC, and these are covering a range of different roles. Today, we're going to be talking about the first three, which are the build, which kind of makes sense, and that basically is for all your large structural construction needs. We have the TAC, which is going to be for people that want a little bit more defensive or offensive excursions in our universe. And then we have the MAX, which is a dedicated hauler, but it can still pack a bit of a punch. So we're going to take a bit of a closer look at all of them today. We're going to start off with the build.
So this is the stance of build from the outside. The key thing to take away here is you'll see it has the drone bays on each side, and then it has the drone resupply arms for allowing the drones to come back and resupply. Inside that room, you have the drone control center. So you have a single station inside, and this is where you control all your drones from, much like Luke showed you in the previous presentation. So there are 2 large drones held on each side of the room, so 4 large drones in total. And then there are 2 filler stations right at the front here, and these each hold 16 SEU of capacity, which can then go and load the internal resource tank to feed the drones. Drones that will then be deployed out of their little secret garages, and they go off and do what you've asked them to do. When they need to resupply, they'll come back, sit on these arms, suck up their resources that they need, carry on their day. That's the really important thing here, is that all these base building vehicles have enough storage on board to supply your drones. Obviously, if you're going to build a million things on your base, you're going to run out. But we want you to be able to have these vehicles and have knowledge that you're not going to be doing endless cargo runs initially to build your foundation, your base. You'll be able to build your base and have storage on that eventually, but these all get you going in the short term. So let's have a quick go over the stats.
I agree, I'm not a huge MISC fan.
Holds 4 large construction drones.
These look
it's
nice.
83 meters long, 52 meters wide, 15 tall. Saw lots of rumors and chatters that people thought this was freelancer size. It is not. It is significantly larger than the Constellation and Corsair. It's almost 600i in size, so it is a big ship. 2 S4 guns for the pilots, 16 missiles, remote turrets, and then 128 SU of cargo capacity in the build specifically. But what if you don't want to build stuff? What if, like me, you just want to burn stuff and destroy stuff?
I mean, the Max has, Freelancer Max has 100.
So introducing the Starlance Attack. So like I say, this is designed to be a bit more aggression into the verse. So I think the first thing you're going to notice is the kind of the dual man size 5 turrets. Now these give much better kind of broadside coverage from any of the other variants.
That I like.
And then on top, we also have like a dedicated hangar that has been specifically designed to fit a Mirai Fury inside. And I'm sure we will see plenty of other ships try to be fitted inside.
Successful or not.
Yeah, we'll see. And I think John's going to run you through the interior now.
So yeah, let's have a look over the TAC from outside to in. So this is the TAC in its default paint, so sort of military drab grey. Then internally, obviously Ben talked about the size 5 turrets. Then we have some drop seats behind, and these are on a deployable ramp, so you can do some ground assault. They will drop out, down. If you're doing a bit of ground assault, chances are someone's probably going to get injured, so there is an onboard medical facility directly behind there with 2 Tier 3 medical beds. Upstairs, obviously, there's the Fury hangar. Behind that is engineering. And then forward of the hangar is the refactored habitation and mess hall area, which is specific to the TAC. Just because there's so much other stuff crammed in there, we had to redo the upstairs of it, basically, to fit that in. And we'll go over the more normal layout shortly.
OK, so yeah, to sum up, I think the TAC's obviously going to bring a lot more firepower from the other variants. Its shield's been boosted up to two size 3 shield generators. It's got the med bay with the Tier 3 med beds, drop seats, it's got a hangar, and it's still able to carry up to 96 SCU of cargo.
Nice.
And you can secure yours today by going to play.sc/Starlance Attack.
Biker. Excuse me. I would say with as little as I use my freelancers, I would definitely upgrade my freelancers for these.
Yeah.
I don't see them on the website yet.
No.
I mean, I would definitely upgrade the mist to the tack. Oh, there's Levski. You're home. I don't know if I would get the build, because I have the Galaxy with the base building module. Plus the Pioneer and all that.
Okay, so I think you kind of hopefully agree that was a pretty great kind of trailer for the Starlancer Max. And as you can kind of see, we're just putting the finishing touches on that now. So yeah, we're just getting it all done, all ready for its launch at IAE.
Launch at IAE?
We will take a little bit of a closer look at it now.
It's the Max.
Yeah, that's definitely going to get.
I think the Starlancer kind of really fully encapsulates Misk's kind of
That's what I'm
ability to
thinking,
create
like, I would
beautiful ships.
upgrade the
It's got this
Max.
bulbous design that really helps to kind of convey its underlying structure and its underlying strength. I think when the engineers were trying to kind of put this together, they were thinking about what's useful, what's great, and one of the things that we thought about was this deployable cargo grid that just brings the cargo down to the ground, makes it much easier for loading and unloading. And they also wanted to put the kind of the crew, you know, they wanted to put what was important
with
for
the
them.
TAC, they are going to have
So
a
they've added a
CitizenCon
lot of
offer with a
windows out
sapphire
so the
paint.
crew can see out into the verse, and it's one of the things that we know people like is being able to have these kind of little windows out into space. And then above the kind of main habitation area, we've got these big skylights, and they just allow kind of like more natural light to cast down into the cruise area. For a bit more protection, you've got 8 size 3 missiles up front, and then a further 8 on top. And these are backed up by a set of size 4 remote turrets,
Right
both
now, the
front and
links
rear,
to
that give
pre-order
good
it and
top side
secure it
coverage.
now are not working.
And then finally, when we get to
there
the
we
front,
go.
you'll see we have a further set of size 4 gimbal weapons. And again, these just kind of help to fill in those blind spots.
And the ship upgrade
I think as a whole,
option is not
I think
working
you know,
yet
the
either.
engineers or MISC have done an exceptional job in creating a vehicle that kind of fully encapsulates the functionality needed while still ensuring that the crew's kind of well-being and livelihood is protected. It's all in a package that kind of really dominates the sky, and I think it really shows off MISC's ability to deliver kind of quite beautiful ships.
Right, so don't worry, this is not an Origin 404 moment happening here.
Yeah.
So let's have a
So
look inside
it is
the
not available
Starlancer
on the
Max
ship
now.
store yet.
So, love it or hate it, we love it. The MISC traditional letterbox view is back. At the front of the ship, you have the pilot, co-pilot seat with 2 support stations at the rear. These are the ones that control the remote turrets by default. Then behind that, we have the escape pod room. 4 escape pods, 4 crew. And then behind that, we have the traversal. It's sort of a traversal room. It has a lift, goes between the 2 floors of the ship and goes to the exterior of the ship. And then a ladder for emergency backup. Behind that is the mess hall area. So nice shared communal space for you to relax with your crew. And then we move into the 4 individual crew rooms, each with double beds, so very luxurious for a spaceship. En suites for all. at the rear of this section, we have a further 2 lifts. These are just internal to go between the 2 decks of the ship.
Oh, wow.
Then at
All
the
right,
rear, we have
Starlancer
the main
Max
engineering.
is
So there are some
250
components
on the
dotted around
site.
throughout the rest of the ship, but the bulk of your components and the engineering terminal are here at the rear of the ship. So that's upstairs. Let's go downstairs a little bit. We have the main vehicle entrance and
That's
cargo
a perfect
entrance
candidate to upgrade my
for the
sand
rear
truck.
section. This can be used as a garage, but it is also a cargo hold. Can fit vehicles up to a Ursa rover in size in here.
Nope.
And then on the Max, we have, as you
No,
saw
I
in the
can get rid of
trailer,
the terrapin.
the 2, it's sort of one cargo lift that drops down, but it retains a walkway throughout the center of the ship. So regardless of whether your cargo is up, down, being loaded, you still have traversal front to back of the ship.
Actually, I never use my Hurricane.
Then we have the downstairs of the traversal room, which also features the airlock onto the ship. And then lastly, we have the armory at the front of the ship. So if you're coming on board, leaving via EVA, leaving via that front entrance to the ground, you can stop off here, suit up, get your weapons, do the reverse coming back. And that is the Starlancer Max.
I got him again to try the CSV. It's pretty nice.
Faster than RC, I
So
bet.
we'll quickly recap the stats.
Yes, actually.
224 SU of cargo, 128 on that ventral drop platform, 96 in the rear cargo area. It has 6 extra VTOL thrusters for all that
There
extra
we go.
mass that
Got
it's hauling.
my, Max.
And it is available to pre-order now and will be flyable this IE at play.se Starlancer Max. And if you pre-order now before IE, you will get this exclusive sapphire paint, which is in the CitizenCon colors and looks super cool in my
Were
opinion.
you able to upgrade or just buy it?
I upgraded the Hurricane
So-
because I never fly the Hurricane. I'm not a fan of that shit.
We have
and it
talked
cost me 15
small
bucks.
drones, medium drones,
Nice.
large drones. What about bigger things?
Oh, yeah, this is what I wanted to see.
So, who can guess what that is?
That's a Pioneer.
So,
That's what we wanted to see.
I talked to you all quite some time ago about this in Germany, and this is obviously the original concept for the Pioneer. Now, some time has passed, and whilst the core concepts of base building have remained the same at a high level, how you physically build your bases has changed slightly. So, back then, you were building everything on board the ship here. You would fly your Pioneer. This is the area I want to build in. I'm going to build my base on board the ship, and I'm going to drop it down. As you've seen, bases are a lot more expansive now. This doesn't work anymore. So we need to do a little bit of some reconcepting.
Okay, so one of the first things we really wanted to kind of solve was the arm. We know a lot more about how we're going to be constructing these structures now, and kind of the arm didn't really make a lot of sense anymore. All it really did was
Morning,
it made the
Trainer.
space you need to land the ship almost twice as big as what it's kind of needed. And we're not real spaceship engineers. We don't make real spaceships. But what we do try and do a lot of the time is we try and take as much reference from kind of real life manufacturing as we possibly can. And I think that's really it's really key to what I think Star Citizen is as a whole across like all the different departments. In that we're trying to make a believable universe. And if you think about the arm, and whilst I can't deny it's a cool idea, I think really from a manufacturing point of view, all it really does is it adds a lot of complication and a lot of manufacturing costs onto what is already a very advanced, very large, very costly ship to make.
Huge.
So that was kind of like one of the kind of real first things we wanted to do. The second thing we wanted to look at was kind of have a little bit of a shift around of kind of like the egress points on the ship. The cargo position has moved, so we needed to kind of update that. We wanted to make sure that the landing pad made sense and had space to kind of come into the ship. And then we also needed a way of getting things out of the ship that we will be crafting. On top of that, we had a few other goals. Like I say, it needs to support all the updated kind of building mechanics. It needs to support all our current metrics, and I don't mean just character metrics. I mean all metrics, because we're going to be creating a lot of things inside this ship. We wanted it to kind of become a true self-sustained mobile base. We wanted it to kind of, be kind of like the cornerstone of your crafting and construction ventures.
There you go, mobile base.
To do that, we need to add a few extra kind of onboard facilities. So, a med bay, like I say, the crafting area, the ability to refine or extract and refine materials.
I mean, for what hopefully we'll be able to build.
So let's have a quick look over the updated interior of the Pioneer. So at the back of the ship, we have the classic bridge, looks out over the expanse of the ship. And then top and bottom of that in this image, we have the escape pod rooms. And then leading off those is the access to the manned turrets that remain. Then going downstairs, we have the cargo area at the top. Doesn't look like a lot. That's 1,000 SEU of cargo now in that space.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Yeah, we're going to need it. We are going to need it for building.
Next to that is the fabrication control room. This is where you'll be fabricating larger vehicles and ships, as well as smaller fabrication machines next door for. You don't want to use this to build a small FPS weapon. It's a bit overkill, so we have that on board as well. In the center of the ship, we have a small fabrication hangar with roof and ramp egress. So if you're building a small ship on board, so things like a Nomad, you can build on board here. You'll be able to fly it out the roof of the fabrication hangar. And then we have the existing small landing pad that transitions from outside the ship to inside the ship. So cargo you can load via new entrance that Ben's going to talk about in a second, but you can still retain the ability to land a ship on top of this ship, move it inside your ship, all those things. Engineering at the rear, this is now capital components all the way around. It was a weird mix of size 3s before. It's now just all capital everything. Then we have the habitation, mess hall, medical area between the hangar and engineering. And then at the front, we have 4 extra large drones in the drone room.
Nice.
But we don't just have some pictures like this to show you. Ben's going to go through this in a bit more detail now.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to have a little look at kind of like the concept and where it's at on the interior. We start out on the interior bridge. It's very spacious, or command deck bridge, whatever you want to call it. It gives kind of really nice views out over the front of the ship. And right up front, you've got all the consoles required that you need to kind of control the ship,
on this thing.
as well as the kind of additional remote turret access consoles. And then at the rear, we have the main kind of navigation components and some small engineering consoles. And kind of flanking either side, we've got these 2 corridors, and they lead out to the manned turrets that kind of sit above the bridge. And they also have all the escape pods needed for all the bridge crew. Like I say, we want this to kind of be a home away from home, so we have a very large, comfortable habitation area. Each of the crew members, they get their own individual crew pod. And one of the nice things about this is these actually open up, and they allow kind of each crew member to kind of decide like how much privacy they actually want.
I like that. Like I said,
this is the crafting area. We've got 4 kind of crafting machines.
Ship.
And these are right next to the cargo bay, the internal cargo bay. And as John says, this holds up to 1,000 SEU of cargo, so it's pretty sizable. To make it a little bit easier, it's got its own dedicated cargo lift at the back that, again, just simplifies that kind of getting cargo in and out of the vehicle. Down at the front, we have the drone room. Now, these will be 4 extra large drones, so they'll be able to craft our largest structures in game. They exit the ship out through the roof, and they're all controlled by the construction console in this area. And finally, we're just going to take a quick look at the crafting area on the ship. So you can see here we've got these blast shields down that kind of protect the crew in this area from what's going on inside. And then as these open up, we just finished making a storm. And as we see, there's a ramp that leads out, so you can drive any ground vehicle straight out the front. Between all the landing gear, and you get this really nice kind of like sense of scale as you're driving underneath out the front of the ship. And we've also got the top exit for any flight vehicles. And then finally, we have the landing pads, and this just allows us for any ships that land up on deck, we can just bring them down into the belly of the ship.
So the Starlancer TAC is going to be $295.
So that's the Pioneer. It's had quite the glow up over the years. Holds 4 extra large drones. And if you're interested in finding out what extra large drones can build, I highly recommend sticking around for the next presentation. It's about 20% bigger. I know the jokes, we always make ships bigger, but to fit all that in, it needed it. It can craft small ships and vehicles. And one thing we didn't show in that video is the landing gear actually have integrated ground resource extractors in. So when you find your plot, you land your ship and you can start extracting the resources from it.
Nice.
Capital components all round, and now it has 1,000 SU of cargo capacity. Now the bad news. When base building comes out, this will not be there day one of it. But we are starting this in the next week or two, so it is in production very soon. So, to finish up, we'll do the classic one last thing. CitizenCon is usually about looking forwards, but we'll do some housekeeping and look at the now and a bit before. So, sorry, this is Ben.
Yeah, so you remember last year we teased these 10 vehicle silhouettes. Now, these were vehicles that we were planning on working on this year, and we've not quite delivered all of them yet this year. But we did come quite close. So far we've delivered 6. We've delivered the Pulse, the X1, the Medvac, the Argo and PUV 1T, the RSI Zeus, and the rework on the Retaliator. Oh, but what about the rest? Sorry.
So, all but one of these will be released before the end of the year. So the Legionnaire is the one that's going to miss out. And that's because we want to align it with hacking gameplay. But the rest will be here before the end of the year. So, Crusader Intrepid, Mirai Guardian, and the Polaris. So.
Nice.
We have a few patches between where I am today standing on stage and the end of the year. But let's start with some things that you're going to see at IEE.
What? What is this?
Is this the Apollo?
No, it's the Terrapin.
It's a medical Terrapin.
They did a medical Terrapin?
Well, we've been asking on stream for how long now?
Oh, I know.
Intrepid.
Awesome.
I hate to say it, but I like this Terrapin.
Something for you to upgrade the other Terrapin to.
Oh yeah, I would definitely upgrade the other one to it. This is probably the Crusade.
Yeah, these are coming out of IE.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pisces.
bad idea. Gravity's gonna need a bigger backpack for his fuses. Why do I have a feeling I'm gonna get sucked into that? You're gonna have to upgrade the bratwurst, lawn dart. Oh, I can't wait.
Alright, we only got 30 days.
Look at that thing. It's 20th, so yeah, I mean, if they're talking IAE end of November.
Okay, so on top of those ships we've talked about, we also worked on a number of other ships this year. So we're just going to quickly go through them before we get on to what we're doing next. So we delivered the Sulen, the Storm, the Cutter Rambler, the F7A and F7C Mark IIs. So I always get tongue twisted with these. And the F7A Mark Is.
They also did the Santok EI, the Sabre Firebird, the Peregrine, and then most recently, the Argo Atlas. So, like last year, where we did a little tease, can't just leave without teasing a little bit more. So, let's have a quick look at just some, emphasis on some, of the vehicles that we're working on in the next 12 months.
The FM. Another Ursa?
Variant of the Ooh, another Atlas.
That's probably the Mark II Super Hornet. Tracker, Ghost. That's the Terrapin. Yeah, my Guardian.
It's a mining ship.
No idea on that one.
I have no idea what that one is.
What the heck is that?
Drake, Corsair Mini.
Another big tropical boy.
What is that thing?
Yeah, Starlink. That's the Perseus. The Perseus. That's the Pioneer. No, that's the Pioneer. Is that the Pioneer? Yeah, that's the Pioneer. Oh no, that might be the Drake landing craft.
So, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you, and a big thank you to all the vehicle team in all the studios around the globe. They give us all this really cool stuff that we can get to stand on stage and talk to you guys about. Some of them are probably hiding at the back, But I just want to say a big thank you to you all, especially for all the hard work on these recent ships.
Yeah. Massive, massive thank you to everyone involved in putting these vehicles together.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I did pick
that
up
was
CCU
awesome, you guys. I swear some of those silhouettes looked a little familiar. Let's give it up one more time for the vehicle team. Let's hear it for the vehicle team, everybody. Woo!
Red Monster, what did you miss? The
Call and response. We'll work on it for next year. Speaking of
Max
awesome
Build
ships, we are here at the Planet Ring booth here on the show floor at CitizenCon. These guys have some amazing models that are in prototype right now. We're going to check them out right now. Let's check out some of these awesome prototype models we have right here. Let's check those out. We're going to give our cameraman just a quick moment to check them out. I am here with Ray of Planet Ring. We're going to be asking him a couple questions about these prototypes in just a second, but I want to make sure that the camera has time to check out the details on these awesome models that we're hoping to get out in the near future. Oh, look at that. That is some sexy detail work. All right, so Ray, what inspired you to make models of Star Citizen ships?
Well, actually, we have been Star Citizen bankers for many years. Myself, I joined the wars in 2015, and my colleagues joined it in 2014, which is 10 years ago. It's a long way for us. And we've been specialized in sci-fi models. We have been collaborating with other famous IPs like the films, especially the sci-fi films and animations and games. So we are excited to be here as a partner of CIG to bring the citizens in the world with a beautiful ship in affordable price.
Feel free to join
Amazing.
in.
So how long does each model take for you guys to make?
Well, we've been working for 7 months for now, but our prototype now is still early stage of what we are going to do in the future. So it's roughly like 5-6 months for now.
Was another mining
That's
ship.
what we have been building for everything you see here in this booth.
Like the Prospector.
Yeah, and they are amazing. So I have to ask, which model is the hardest to make, but also which one's your favorite?
Yeah, it's a good question, but I would say the Star Citizen ships are very in detail, so each one of them are very hard to make actually. But my personal favorite should be the F8. You can see the F8 has very beautiful panel lines. It's very beautiful in details, and it has a brutal weapon system that's crazy. And also, I want to make sure that everyone knows that our prototypes come into our final products come into two versions: assembly version and the finished version. So for assembly version, we have injection pieces, so you can cut it yourself and build it yourself, paint yourself, and it's glue-free, it's snap-fit, it's easy for everyone to build in 3 hours. And the finished version, we have it printed for you, we have it assembled for you, and we have some extra layers, painting, resin effects, and some extra decals. It's amazing, fine quality.
Amazing. And so we're actually going to show these really quick. And as we show these details over, we're going to actually throw it over to Sam. Let's give a quick detail on this. Thank you again, Planet Ring. We're really happy to have you guys here. Let's throw it over to Sam back at the community booth. Thank you, Ray, again for having us here. We'll see you guys at the community booth.
Hi guys, I'm back at the community booths and I'm over here with Ultima. Could you give us a brief intro for the guys watching at home to what you guys do?
Absolutely. I'm Skellion from Ultima Energy. We're the leading provider of fuel products and services here in the Verse. We do a lot of Starfare operations. You can find us on our website at ultima.energy, and we have Discord as well. So hit us up there.
Amazing. Thanks so much, guys. Let's move right on over to Medrunner. So, Jared talked a little bit about you guys earlier today. So how have you found the convention so far? What's been your favorite bit?
Oh, man, it's been amazing. Squadron 42 looked so good. I mean, I'm an Idris owner myself, so I'm super hyped to seeing Squadron 42 in 2026. Just the love from the community has been amazing. It's been so much fun here.
Thank you so much for being here. And if you guys haven't already, do come check out their booth because it is really amazing. Okay. And I am here right on the end of our amazing community booth area with our Avantgarde guys. So, Avantgarde, would you mind introducing yourselves and what you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. We are a PMC organization. We do PvP both in the sky and on the ground. We also a trading division where we trade rare guns, rare armors, and everything. Our goal is to have at least 100 members, but because we value people below quantity. We want to create a legacy altogether. When I create this organization, I don't consider myself the commander of everything. I just planted a seed for a tree. Maybe I will never see the fruit, but I want to create a legacy. People need to have fun, maybe win sometimes also, but especially win. Be a healthy community and having fun altogether.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Right, let's move on over to the other side, where I am joined by my partner in crime, Dan.
I don't know which camera I'm looking at. It's that one. That one? 2? 1? Hi. Hi, guys. We're back here at the community section here with my friends at Imperium. They have, again, awesome ship model we saw a moment ago. Look at that awesome ship model they have here. It's even better than the one they had in LA last year. Guys, quick elevator pitch. What do you guys here at for Imperium have here at CitizenCon this year?
Well, at CitizenCon this year, we brought another one of our 1 to 500 scale Bengals. This one is actually in the Imperium colors. It's the ISS Sovereign, which was picked as the name for our flagship by our members. And then also over here, we have 1 to 2,500 scale Bengal Krugeri Battle Group that was made by one of our members that we're going to be donating to Cloud Imperium and to Chris Roberts.
That is amazing. You guys have made some awesome stuff here. We're really happy to have you. As always, Imperium creates some awesome showcase stuff here at CitizenCon. We're going to move on. Thank you guys at Imperium so much, and we're going to move right along. Thanks, guys.
One of those ships,
Next up, we have Black Star Initiative. And if you guys are interested in a private military force with weekly events, Black Star is the place to check out. Guys, again, quick elevator pitch. What is Black Star all about, and what do you guys have here at CitizenCon for us?
So, Black Star is all about helping other people in the org, getting to PvP battles, and also doing security and protection. Over here, we have got, at our booth, we have a med gun made by someone in our community.
Nice.
We have got our challenge coin, which we provide to other leaders within organizations that we meet out in the verse. Coasters and patches. So if you ever need anyone to do protection for your bases that are coming soon, look to us. No one's better.
Yes, and if you want to get good at PvP, we have daily trainings that we can provide to you. We have a lot of stuff to do. We have a civilian division if you're not that much into combat, but even they get trained, combat ready, so you know how to defend yourself.
Awesome. Thank you guys at Black Star. We are always happy to have you. We're going to move right along to one more final community booth. This is our last one of the show. We have here, guys, CitizenCon is sometimes a crazy show with lots of cuts, lots of cameras, and no one knows that better than HubNet. HubNet is an awesome news roleplay group, but I think you guys can say it better. Tell us all about HubNet.
All right, so HubNet is our attempt at making content for the citizens in the verse in 2954. So not for you players, but for the players' characters. So we make a full feature-length movie like Overclocked. We make animated series like Jack of Spades, and our news report, Hubwire, is meant to report on events that are going on in the verse. And Joel can tell you a little bit more about what we do.
Yeah, so if you're looking to create a project or get involved in a project, you can join our Discord, sign up as a role. You can be a voice actor, a filmmaker. Whatever your talent is, we can use you. We're effectively Netflix in the verse, so come check us out at HubNet.
Awesome. Thank you guys at HubNet. Guys, this is it for me and Sam here at CitizenCon. It has been great being your guys' interstitial hosts. And Sam, do you have any final words?
Yep. No, just amazing job, guys. Everything in this community booth, all of the developers that have worked so hard to make CitizenCon happen. You guys are amazing. So hope you have an amazing rest of your CitizenCon.
From Dan and Sam here on the show floor, thank you guys. And it's back to you, Jared, on the stage.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay. It's time, everybody.
And of course, this part is Star Citizen 1.0.
And before we get this started, we're doing a lot of things here. I want to do some personal thanks to myself. Okay? So, first, I want to thank all the developers who took their time to build their presentations and showcase for you their amazing work that they've been doing over the last year for Star Citizen and Squadron 42. So please, a round of applause for the developers. It is not easy to stand on this stage in front of 4,000 people, in front of tens of thousands of people at home, and the hundreds of thousands who will clip this and replay it and cut it into other content videos for years and years to come. So thank you so much. I want to do a couple individual call-outs, though, because it's important to me, and I'm on stage right now, and you're a captive audience. I want to call out Nick Pierce. Nick Pierce from the Characters and Creatures presentation. 10 days ago, we lost our main presenter. He didn't die or anything, he just couldn't make the trip. Nick stepped in with only 10 days to prepare that amazing armor specialization presentation that you saw. So Nick, you're a champion. Thank you so much stepping at the last minute. Benoit and Ian. Benoit and Ian took the reins and delivered multiple presentations this year. You may only see them talking in this presentation or this presentation. You're going to see Ian in this one here, like this. But their work behind the scenes, getting all of these presentations up to the standard that they're required, was amazing this year. So Benoit and Ian, you don't have to clap for this one. This is just for me. Thank you so much, Benoit and Ian. All right, you can clap. That's fine. You might have noticed we went on ISC hiatus a couple weeks ago. We went on hiatus a little earlier than normal because we took the ISC gameplay capture team and we dedicated them to the work of CitizenCon for the last almost 6 weeks. Every year at CitizenCon, the devs spend their time creating their footage for you, their showcases for you, and many of them still did. But the amount of work it takes them away from the work of actually creating the game. So our ISC gameplay capture team really stepped up this year for the first time in CitizenCon history and helped folks create the videos. Those amazing looks at Nyx, those amazing looks at Castra, the amazing looks at the sandworm and stuff. So I want to call out Will, Dave, Toby, Alex, and our newest member, Thomas. Hi, Thomas. Thank you so much, guys. They had never participated in a CitizenCon before, and I think they were a little surprised at first at the sheer amount of work that goes into doing this, but they stepped up and delivered some amazing stuff, the last of which you're going to see some in this next presentation. And then our last two groups of people I want to present, I want to share. Are they back there? Wave if you're back there. You guys ready? I can't see anything. All right, I hope. I'm vamping a little bit until Rich Tyler gets into place. I could hide it from you, but I'm not. So the last groups of people I want to thank. Well, let me tell you a story real quick. When I'm back there, and folks are coming up to me, and they're thanking me for this, and thanking me for doing ISC, for doing SEL, for putting this together on the stage today, I'm struck by two things every time I'm thanked. One is that I can't do any of this without you. There is no game project in the world that does a weekly behind-the-scenes docuseries each and every week, and then turns around and does a live talk show the next day after it. And that's only made possible because you guys keep tuning in, you guys keep watching, you guys keep supporting, you guys keep making relatively positive comments about me.
We won't talk
I don't
about
think I'm ever going to
Spectrum.
shave my face again. But it's all right. I just wanted to see what I look like. You know, I'm like, oh, that's what you look like. All right, I agree with the people. Let's bring it back. And then last but not least, there is one person who makes it possible for me to do everything that I've done here. I've been here for 10 years. I've produced 7 CitizenCons. I've produced 3 Gamescoms, a PAX or 2, and a couple digital stuff, and of course ISC and SCL every single week. And really, after your support, the only reason I get to do this week in and week out and have these big moments like this is because of the same guy who makes it possible for all of us to do our jobs. So I'd like to thank, where's the camera? There you go. Okay. I'd like to thank Chris Roberts. Chris, thank you. Thank you for not thinking Sandy was crazy when she hired me. Thank you for saying yes to so many things I want to do, and for not saying no or getting angry when I don't ask. So thank you so much. I do operate a lot on a let's just do it and see if I get in trouble afterwards thing. So is that Chris there? Are you ready? All right. So with that, yes, he's angry now. All right. So without further ado, let's get to our final presentation of the night. The Star is My Destination. Introduced to you by the one and only Chris Roberts.
Hey, well, I hope you had a great day yesterday. And by the way, there's a perfect run through that Rich did immediately after the show. He went back to the office, ran it through, no crashes, no nothing. It's up on YouTube. And by the way, that's a dedication of Rich. Is like, okay, I'm going to get it done properly, and he did it, and it looks great, and it doesn't have any screen tearing, because there was some screen tearing. There was a technical glitch in the setup yesterday. So anyway, watch that. And if you're doing comparisons to the old stuff, compare with that video, not from the stream. But anyway, I hope you guys liked this morning. There was the base building, and the crafting, and the ships, you'll be able to do it. I mean, for me, the ability to sort of create your own place somewhere in the verse, find the perfect spot for you to make your home or harvest resources.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what planet we want to build bases on.
Changes the dynamic of what the game will be in terms of exploration and people spreading out, and I think
like planetary
putting roots down in the verse. So I can't
Probably
wait
not
to
gonna
get
build
that
in
in there.
Pyro
That's
right
one of
off
the
the
things that
bat.
makes me incredibly excited, because I think it will just
I'd
add
rather
so much
just haul
to
this
a
stuff
living,
back
breathing
and
universe. But that is a perfect example of Star Citizen, how it's grown over the last 12 years, because we definitely did not have that on the initial Kickstarter or the pitches that we were doing. And, you know, Star Citizen is a living game. I mean, we're constantly always adding content and features and tech. As you can see, we're constantly upgrading, you know, what we're doing on the graphics side, making it better and always improving it. And even after we would consider it a released or a shipped game, not an alpha game, we will still be doing that. So it's just, it will be a living game. We'll never do Star Citizen 2.0. It will always be sort of Star Citizen that will continue to grow. It won't be like, oh, we're going to do Destiny 2 after Destiny 1. It will just be a living, growing product. So far.
Nice that they get Destiny.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that as a. I don't mean that as a knock at them. I just mean that in today's world, you constantly upgrade and improve things. But the big question really is, at what point would we at CIG, what point would I, what point would the rest of the team consider Star Citizen ready for everybody? Not just you guys out here who are beautiful, wonderful, early adopters, willing to put up with bugs, jankiness, you know, not a great new player experience. We know all those things are things that we want to fix and improve. And we want a game that everyone can just get into at the beginning, understand it, have fun, you know, pulls you into it, and then has a huge amount of depth. So the question is, what is that? And that is what we call Star Citizen 1.0. It's something that we've been talking and looking and designing and thinking a lot about over the past X number of years. And now we thought, you know what we should do, because I think half our sort of initial stuff is from a long time ago that you've seen, and then occasionally we'll talk about things we're doing in, you know, Inside Star Citizens or SE Lives. But we're like, okay, let's tell everyone the marker. This is what it is, Star Citizen 1.0. When we hit this, this is what we consider we're ready to go wide. You know, everybody in the world can get in, play it, whether you're hardcore or casual, have fun, play in the verse, interact, have a great time. And so that is what we're going to tell you today, is what we consider Star Citizen 1.0. That doesn't mean, as I said, that we'll stop at that point. We'll continue to grow and build and add things. So fishing is not on Star Citizen 1.0's list. But I'm pretty sure... I know, but I'm pretty sure it will be. not that long after 1.0. But that is the example. We're going to tell you what the marker is, and you know, to do
at least
that,
he admits phishing's
Rich Tyra, who's our senior game director, is going to come out with a few of our other directors, and we'll lead you through what 1.0 will be. So, without further ado, Rich Tyra.
You'll eventually have your phishing.
All right, Rich. Don't crash.
Yeah. Hello, CitizenCon. So, my name is Rich Tyra, and I'm the Senior Game Director for Star Citizen and Squadron 42. Now, I've been at Cloud Imperium for many years, and I've read many, many Spectrum and Reddit posts. And one consistent question I always see is, what type of game is Star Citizen? And I've read many, many answers. It's a PvE game. It's a PvP game. What about non-combat? Ultimately, it's all three. 3 types of players, 1 universe. So how do we connect those players to create a cohesive game, and not just a set of features bolted together? And it comes back to that elegant, simple question. What type of game is Star Citizen? Well, today, we're going to find out. Okay, so before we get stuck into Star Citizen 1.0, I think I need to clarify a few things. Firstly, what about 4.0? Where does that fit in? Well, 4.0 is the patch that contains server meshing and pyro. And fundamentally, it's an alpha development patch, which means it's adding further tech, features, and content to our alpha version of the game. Today, though, is beyond 4.0, all the way to 1.0. And the big difference is that 1.0 is the full release of the game. Okay, so what does that mean? How will it be different to a normal patch? Well, firstly, let's look at the 1. The 1 means we're committing to higher base performance and minimal bugs. No longer will we reference that the game is in development. This will be a fully released and polished experience. It means fully rounded gameplay loops, from new player experience to story missions and end-game content. And crucially, it means no more resets between patches.
Nice.
It's a true persistent universe. So if that's the 1, what about the .0? Well, it's just as important. It means we're still committed to continued development, with new content and features being planned post 1.0. But those features will no longer be tier 0. We'll be committing to a higher benchmark of quality for each patch, and most importantly, it's a moment in time. If there is a content, feature, or star system that we've mentioned in the past that is not in 1.0, it just means it will come later. 1.0 is more than just a number change. It's the beginning of a new phase of development of the game. Okay, so we know what the 1 is and the .0, but before we move on, I want to address one important point. And for this, we need to go all the way back to the beginning. Here we are, the Kickstarter. As a backer myself, it brings back memories. And it also reminds me we had a lot of stretch goals. And one of those goals was 100 star systems. But, and there is a but, the star systems of old are not the star systems of today. They were based on the privateer and freelancer model. They were unexplorable planets with an isolated and small landing zone and had automated landings. And we all know how that went. To give you an idea, Stanton had 4 points of interest, and the entire 100 systems only had 90 POIs. Compare that to Stanton today, and we have 1,626 points of interest. And that is going to be dwarfed once we start using the Starchitect tool you saw yesterday. So where does that leave us for 1.0? Well, we will not be launching with 100 star systems, because the game we have today was not just the game that was pitched back then. It's more rich, it's more diverse, and fundamentally, you'll be getting a whole lot more, and I mean a lot more. Okay, so now I've defined what 1.0 is, let's get into the cool stuff. Star Citizen, by its very nature, is a sandbox MMO. Today, you as a player have to find the fun. You have to figure out what you can do and how to do it. If you want to be a hauler or salvager, you have to know those professions exist. You have to know what ships support that gameplay. And you have to rely on outside resources for help. As it is now, the game is not set up to help you. So we're going to add a soft framework, a nervous system, that connects all the professions, ships, and content together. And to do this, we're going to add a main story. To help... to help new and existing players, to help discover all the exciting features and content we have, to take them on a journey of discovery of what the game has to offer. This story will become the spine of the universe and help onboard players with understanding how to play the game and understand what's available to them.
Which kind of makes sense, because right now,
this story will also introduce each of our guilds and what professions we have to offer. Like the United Resource Workers, our core industrial guild, which supports 2 of our main professions, mining and salvaging. They also support many other features and professions, like repair technician, crafter, and builder. Guilds are hugely important in Star Citizen, and as you know by now, guilds are comprised of many factions. As you work for each of these factions, you will gain guild reputation. You can then use this reputation as a currency to purchase guild-affiliated rewards, like ships, blueprints, and items. And each guild will have a unique inventory of what they offer. Alongside economic growth, guild reputation will become a core progression of the game. And to talk more about guilds and our main story, I'd like to introduce David Haddock onto the stage, our very own narrative director.
I mean, like I mentioned, you get into the game right now, you're basically pick a home planet. Nobody's there to tell you what to do, where to go, or how to do it.
Hello, CitizenCon.
Unless you got friends in the game.
Awesome. So yes,
a main story would help guide somebody
and it's going to provide us
the different features.
Probably our first real opportunity to finally inject a massive amount of narrative into the game. But we're looking to do that in several of ways. Now, Rich introduced the main story, so let's get into it. What exactly is that? First, it's a narrative experience. This will be a crafted story through the star systems and professions of the Star Citizen universe, taking players on an exciting adventure that will finally kick off the growing tension between Earth and Terra. Yeah. It will be NPC-driven. So while Squadron 42 will always be the place to go for AAA cinematic adventure, we're bringing a lot of the techniques that we learned from that to capture and build a cast of dynamic characters, some of which may be familiar, for both this story and the PU. And the main story is also designed to be sort of like a tour bus structure, where you can hop on and hop off.
You can do it at your own pace.
At any time you want to. So we're not also requiring you to do it. So if you want to log in day one and just go off and do your thing, you can do that. Or maybe you want to put the story on hold so you can go explore a new facet of gameplay that you just discovered. Go for it. The point is that you can complete it at your own pace.
I like that idea.
So that's the what. So why do you want to do this? What's the motivation to want to go on this ride? Like Rich said, for new players, it's a great way to ease into sort of the vast lore that we've been developing over 12 years. The gameplay, the locations that the game has to offer, and also give you a sense of upcoming stories that are about to come. But you've been playing Star Citizen for years. You probably know the lore better than me. So what's in it for you? Now, of course, we'll have rewards along the way as you complete missions and whatnot. But we're finally going to offer a big prize for completing the story. Citizenship. So, many of you already know this, but for the uninitiated, in the UEE, there are citizens and there are civilians.
Starfield had citizenship too.
Citizens are members of the population who have demonstrated a commitment to bettering the empire, and as such are given benefits that civilians just don't have. Now, what those differences have been debated in the community over years. 1.0, we're finally going to answer that debate. I won't get into the full list of benefits that we're going to offer, but can reveal that one of them will be around land ownership. Citizens will be able to purchase land anywhere in the UEE and enjoy the security that comes with it. But civilians will have a couple of restrictions as to which systems and which planets they can buy on. So that's the why. So where is this adventure going to take you? Well, 1.0 is going to include 5 star systems. This story is going to weave you through all of them. But where exactly are you going to go? First, we've got Stanton, which needs very little introduction. I'm sure you're all very intimately familiar with these 4 corporate-run worlds. But since I do lore, I figure I could take the next hour and just walk through each one of these. But I'm kidding. We've also got Pyro, Land of the Lawless. A volatile star at the center of the system is the perfect metaphor for the constant struggle between the gangs and survivors trying to hack out an existence here. If you saw Ian's location presentation yesterday, then you know that he reintroduced Nick's system. There's another unclaimed system that's currently home to the People's Alliance, a wannabe independent government formed during the Messer era, but now struggling with the burdens of governance, a growing outlaw presence, and a new threat on their doorstep from Vandal raids. Ian also made another big announcement of our 4th system, Castra. Situated along the former Perry line, this was a key strategic system to launch an attack if the Cold War between the humans and the Xi'an ever escalated. So that's 4. Do you guys want to know 5? Yeah. We're finally doing it. Considered by many to be the new jewel of the Empire, Terra has been a shining star against the more imperialistic tendencies of Earth, even in the darkest days of the Messer regime. Now, many believe that Terra should be the new center of the UEE. I don't know how you all feel about that. Yeah, a lot of division. But that's our starting 5. Each system and each planet will be featuring the massive level of outposts, POIs, stations, biomes, and exploration options that we've been perfecting with Stanton and Pyro, and you've been seeing in some of the other presentations this weekend. But we're adding one more level. We're also going to be adding location stories. Now, these will be short, NPC-driven missions sprinkled across our landing zones and cities that will exist outside of the main story, but will help provide an additional bit of lore and character to the location that they take place in. So, that's our main story. Let's talk more about the guilds that Rich mentioned. First, a quick recap. Guilds act as a governing body for clusters of professions and factions with a reputation and progression system that will offer rewards the more you work for them. And I want to call out 2 things. One, I'm not going to have time to dive into all of the missions that you're going to see on this board, but just know that every mission type is either in the 1.0 roadmap or already in production. And second, we're also looking to move missions away from the Moby Glass whenever possible. Sure, it will always be an easy way for us to get additional game content in, but we want you talking with people. So to aid that, we're going to be adding characters to represent the factions that you'll be working for that will help sell their personality. Now, some, they'll still interact with you via the written word, but some will call and check in on your performance. And others, you may have to meet in person from time to time. So, let's walk through them. Here we have the first guild that Rich showed, the United Resource Workers. Whether you're eager to earn credits, mining valuable resources from remote corners of the universe, sifting through detritus to try and salvage some valuable components, or even just acting as a technician. You'll find plenty to do with employers like Shubin Interstellar, United Wayfarers Club, and more. Next, you have one of the oldest unions in the UEE, the Interstellar Transport Guild. This will be the go-to place for everybody looking to make their fortune hauling and trading. Some of the factions that many of you already work for now, such as Ling Family Hauling, Red Wind, and FTL. And we're going to be adding something special for the daredevils out there, the Imperial Sports Federation. So aside from the usual racetracks that are both legitimate and illegitimate, we're actually going to be leveraging some of our existing mechanics to build new sports and provide an outlet for all you Murray Cup enthusiasts, Cargo Olympians, and competitors to see just who's the best out there.
Cargo Olympics.
For those who dream of exploring, I'm sure we have a couple here. We had the Academy of Sciences that was brought up yesterday in the social presentation, if you saw that. This is a science guild that will include factions like the Imperial Cartography Center, who will task you with a variety of missions to better understand our universe, such as sending you into a nebula to do deep scans, or finally seeing what's at the bottom of that planetary canyon. We're going to have a new faction called High Point Wilderness Specialists, who will offer missions associated with the various fauna that we're starting to get into the game, from population control missions to harvesting specific resources for research. Now, I don't know if we have some people who'd like to do combat, but our combat guilds were doing something a little different. Now, previous to this, these are all of our profession guilds. But for our combat guilds, they operate a little differently. See, these two are diametrically opposed to each other. So once you pledge allegiance to one, the other marks you as an enemy. On the lawful side, we have the Mercenary Guild. They represent factions like Eckhart Security, the Bounty Hunters Guild, and even some military contractors. So whether you're pulling together a team of specialists to go assault a ground base, hunting down an elusive criminal, or putting together a recon run to drum up some intel, Mercenary Guild's got you covered. On the flip side, we have the Council. Now, this is a shadowy group comprised of representatives from various gangs, syndicates, and outlaws who mandate criminal activity throughout the verse. You'll be able to throw in with rough and tumble gangs like the Headhunters and the Dead Saints, or work your way up to join highline criminal syndicates like the Atonis or the Drop Kings. But remember, the underworld is a dangerous place run by greed and power. So Mercenary Guild reps might not be the only people you have to worry about, as the syndicates are always looking for loyal soldiers who will hurt their competition and tip the scales of power in their favor. So as you can see, there's going to be a universe of exciting storytelling opportunities for you to undertake in 1.0. But one more thing, we're also going to revitalize our social behaviors to make the populations not only feel more alive and reactive and off chairs, but better reflect the tone and flavor of the areas that they're inhabiting. We want to see the people of Lorville slowly trudging through the streets, overburdened by the ruthless contracts, just as much as we want to see the tourists of Orison gleefully moving from attraction to attraction. And all of this is what's going to make Star Citizen be the experience we set out to make. A diverse universe with a rich tapestry of stories, characters, and experiences for you to live in. To talk more about how all this feeds back into player progression, I'm going to turn it back over to Rich Tyre.
Interesting. I mean, it's kind of a good idea to have some kind of story that you can opt into.
Yes, very good.
And at least it's optional.
Thanks, Dave. Okay, so we have a main story to connect the universe. We have all the guilds and their associated professions. And we have location stories to give the world depth and life. Crucially, though, we have a new core progression in the game, guild reputation. But what about our other core progression in the game? The economy. So, as we've discussed before, we'll be implementing a Star Sim-powered dynamic economy that will automatically adjust the in-game prices based on player activity. But for credits to actually matter, though, we need to have an economy where credits flow out as well as in. This means transactions such as repairing, refueling, and restocking need to have value. If everything is too cheap and the money coming into the economy is too great, we'll have massive inflation. And this is where taxes and insurance come in.
Well, they already talked about the inheritance taxes, part of Death of Spaceman.
We'll have two main taxes: inheritance tax as part of Death of a Spaceman, and security tax for your base that will cover the cost of planetary shield tech. Insurance, on the other hand, will be split between medical insurance, which covers your hospital imprints, and probably the most important one of all, ship insurance. Now, as we have Death of a Spaceman, we also need Death of a Spaceship. Losing your ship should be significant. Right now, for example, over 90% of all claims in the verse are for ships that have not been destroyed.
It's because they break.
And this is where ship insurance and our new warranty mechanic comes in. First up, we'll have 3 tiers of insurance, with level 1 being chassis insurance, level 2, chassis and component insurance, and level 3, chassis, component, and decorations insurance. Now, insurance by itself will only pay out credits based on the wear and age of your ship. Insurance, I think you want to listen to this bit because it's important. Insurance with a warranty, though, will give you back a new ship, plus any other equipment or decorations based on the tier of insurance you had. Okay, so this is the bit you need to listen to. All ships bought on the pledge store will come with a permanent warranty and their appropriate insurance.
Nice.
This means you will always get your ships back if they're attributed to your account. Other ships, on the other hand, will require a transferable warranty, and these are rare. You'll be able to earn transferable warranties in-game, such as by completing the main story,
So
as an
it's
example.
going to be like ships that you build and
apply them to any of the ships you own.
And in-game purchases.
But there will be a cooldown for transferring it between ships, so choose wisely. Now, what about claim timers? It's another fun topic. And getting your ship back without a claim. Well, we want claim timers to be proportional to the crafting timers. This means it's more beneficial for you to go back and get your original ship. For this, we're going to be introducing a shuttle ship, just like a courtesy car.
Nice. Courtesy car.
You'll be able to claim the shuttle at no extra cost to most locations and then fly it back to your original ship. Once back in your ship, the shuttle will automatically return home.
I like that idea. And
if your
it's
ship
broken
has been
down,
legitimately
you can
lost,
have it
though,
towed by an SRV.
then you'll need to claim it back.
It's like an
And as
cargo
we'll be
MP
increasing claim timers,
RC.
this will mean some ships will take longer than others.
But the
With
crafting time
starter or
makes sense.
small ships always being readily available, and larger capital-sized ships taking a long time. So it's always better to try and get your ship back if possible. Okay, so we've talked about our 2 core progressions, but what does that mean to you as a player? Well, firstly, it means we have a framework where we can start creating cyclical gameplay loops. But what are they? Let me show you. Okay, so right now in live, if you have a prospector, you probably enjoy mining. And the reward for mining is credits and the enjoyment of the activity. But in 1.0, you might be mining for a whole different reason. And this is where cyclical gameplay loops come in. Firstly, Let's add all the manufacturers and ships in. I'll just give you a moment to take that in, because there's a lot. I actually had to ask them to take the variants out, because it didn't fit on this slide. And let's zoom all the way into the prospector, a stalwart of the mining community. But let's say I really fancy acquiring a military Mark II Hornet. Let's go on a simplified journey of how I could get one. Firstly, I know I won't be able to buy it, as it's a military ship, so I'm going to need to craft it. That means I will need the fabrication hangar blueprint. Luckily, I can earn it by doing mining missions to gain rep with the United Resource Workers, and I already have the perfect ship, my trusty prospector. With blueprint in hand and some excess credits, I can now purchase a small plot of land on Stanton and build my fabrication hangar. Step 1, complete. Now I need to grab the Mark II Hornet blueprint. For this, I need mercenary rep, and more importantly, a combat ship. With that in mind, I will do a few more mining contracts to earn enough credits to purchase a Mustang from the dealership. Now I can start doing combat pilot missions for the Mercenary Guild, so I can unlock the Mark II Hornet blueprint. Okay, step 2 of our simplified loop is complete. I have the Mark II blueprint, but I need the resources to craft it. So I come full circle back to my prospector, but this time I'm mining for resources instead. As you can see, this closes the loop. No longer am I mining just because I like it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But now I am mining for a purpose and for multiple reasons. For credits, for reputation, for resources, for blueprints, and ultimately as a stepping stone to crafting my own ships to enjoy other professions. And this is just one of many loops. This is the core of Star Citizen 1.0.
Yeah, which makes sense. You do the grind to earn the stuff you want, to build the things that you want to fly.
Yeah, I being able to earn a blueprint.
Player set goals that weave between sandbox gameplay and the soft framework we are adding, that give meaning and progression to our professions and features. It's providing the framework for motivation to play the game. That's the journey, though. What about the destination? So Dave has already discussed citizenship and the main story, so let's collapse that for now. Let's talk about
Biker, if you already
endgame
own
content.
the ship, you don't need the blueprint.
The content that is
Unless you
designed
wanna
for
build it to sell
experienced
to
players
others.
and keeps them engaged. Basically everyone in this room. So how does that look in 1.0? Firstly, we'll have open world content, including missions, group missions, and server-wide events, like we have today, but tailored to endgame players. While the sandbox element of Star Citizen will allow for large-scale battles, we also want to provide challenging instanced content that will take full advantage of not only multi-crew ships, but fleets of ships.
Yeah, then
And you
you'll
kinda
have
know
to
how
go
to
and
do
do
that, right?
the
You saw that
things to
yesterday.
earn the blueprint.
And as you progress through the guilds, you'll be able to accept high-level contracts from government agencies who will offer prototype and military blueprints as rewards. These missions will require the full coordination of multiple players and an assorted fleet of capital, support, and fighter ships. You will finally be able to become the admiral of the fleet, directing your armada from your hologlobe, which, yes, is a feature included in 1.0. We will also be offering more specialized on-foot missions that see you enter the depths of distribution centers and municipal works in small, tight-knit squads that provide an outlet for our more FPS-focused players. On top of all this will sit a dynamic layer powered by StarSim. While StarSim will be the driving force in our dynamic economy, it will also track player and AI activity and dynamically spawn events based on their actions. For example, if it tracks large amounts of resources being moved from one home location to another, it will have a chance to spawn pirates to intercept. All this combined will provide just a portion of the endgame experience, and I'd love to delve deeper, but that's for another day, as we still have a lot to show. So we've discussed non-combat professions and guilds. cyclical gameplay loops, and endgame PvE content. But what about PvP? What about player versus player content? As you know, 1.0 will contain 5 star systems, 3 of these being lawful in Stanton, Castra, and Terra, and 2 of them being unlawful in Pyro and Nyx. So what's the difference? Let's take a look at Stanton. Lawful systems will be a mixture of high, medium, and low security areas. Each of these areas will be monitored by law enforcement agencies. And depending on the location, will dictate the emergency response time, with high-sec areas being the fastest. Initially, this response will be measured, but over time will escalate to overwhelming force. This means if someone is attacked, if they can just hold out for a short duration, help will be on the way. Pirates will be able to disrupt this monitoring by shutting down the nearby comm arrays, but this will be highlighted in your star map, with dynamic missions being generated to bring it back online. But this is the PvP you already know and experience right now, just without security forces. But before we jump into an unlawful system, let's explore what options you have if you pirate a ship. Okay, so first up, let's discuss ownership. All ships and high-value items that you own will automatically be assigned to you. This means if someone steals your ship, you can mark it as stolen, either via an insurance claim or in your Mobi. This will then trigger a dead man switch on the stolen ship, meaning it will cease to function after a period of time. But what options does this leave as a pirate?
Nice.
Well, you can still salvage it. You can tow it back to your fabrication hangar to dismantle it for resources. Or, if you have a high enough rep with the council, our criminal guild, you can get the dead man switch disabled and pay for a new title deed to become its new owner.
Okay. And obviously, if it's a pledge ship, you have warranty.
Also, if you're in a lawful system, you'll need to find a transient jump tunnel, as all major locations and POIs will have custom security that will scan you on arrival. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's look at the unlawful system in Pyro. Unlawful systems have no laws at all, and with that comes opportunity. Pyro, as an example, has an abundance of high-quality resources and is a hotbed of criminal activity, the literal definition of high risk, high reward. With crafting now requiring resources, you're going to want to create bases to mine and extract them. This is where base raiding will become a new form of PvP, and it's founded on a combined arms ethos. Defending players will be able to add defenses such as walls, automated turrets, and most importantly, ground shields, a localized version of the planetary shields used in lawful systems that absorb the most powerful of weaponry. No longer can you just turn up and drop a Moab.
Huh, that's good, I mean, to a degree.
One huge difference, though, compared to planetary shields, is that these shields can be disabled. You will have to strategically assess each base and punch your way through its defenses on foot to eventually bring down the shield generator. Once the shield is down, then you have options. You want to raise it to the ground, you can bomb it from the air. If you want to extract all the resources, though, you'll need to infiltrate the base using explosive charges and hacking while fighting off the defenders. Now, both piracy and base raiding is founded on sandbox gameplay. And again, that's the essence of Star Citizen. But we want to add more. Something where you can log on and immediately find the action and fight for a purpose. So first up, let's go on a history lesson. In the early 2600s, there was a fledgling corporation called SEAL that had developed a new system-wide planetary shield technology, the same technology that will provide protection for your bases today. To prove this tech, they wanted to use Nyx and Pyro systems as a testbed. With the promise of high-quality resources, SEAL lured independent miners to man the SHIELD network in exchange for SHIELD protection for their settlements. As a prototype, SEAL couldn't provide total coverage over all the mining settlements, and so they created the SEAL Tokens program, allowing the most industrious factions to purchase SHIELD coverage for their work. The network consisted of multiple linked bases on the ground that then linked to several stations in orbit around each planet that then connected to the nearest relay in the SHIELD network, which eventually linked back to the SHIELD core, which oversaw system-wide distribution of the SHIELD technology. Factions could then earn SEAL tokens for working on any part of the network. That could be a mission where we get to restart those? They could then use these tokens to buy SHIELD coverage. But with the competition amongst factions being so intense, SEAL was only able to offer shielding to the hardest workers. Unfortunately, due to outlaw interference, SEAL eventually pulled out of Pyro and Nyx and pushed for a more automated solution in more civilized systems. So fast forward to present day, without SEAL's backing, they had to pull out and leave it as it is. And welcome to Station Warfare. With the SEAL network still in place, but lacking resources, orgs can take ownership of these structures to gain access to planetary SHIELD tech, which, as you know, would make their bases invulnerable. Unfortunately, there's a catch. There isn't enough to go around. And as in the good old SEAL days, the system still works via the SEAL token program. To earn tokens, you'll have to assault a location and then deposit resources to power the network. This begins with ground bases and ends at the SHIELD core. Each structure occupied will then accrue SEAL tokens over time, with larger structures earning more, and at the end of each week, you must then use these tokens to purchase SHIELD protection. With SHIELD coverage being limited, though, the system automatically selects the orgs with the highest bid from across all shards. Meaning for that week only, a certain number of orgs will gain access to SHIELD protection. So this is a chance for your org to become the de facto leader of a system. It means you'll be able to log on and immediately find the action and fight for your org. And finally, it's not just sandbox PvP or ganking. You are fighting for a purpose. So once you've won your bid, what then? Well, to talk more about that, I'd like to welcome Ian Leyland, Star Citizen's creative director, to the stage.
That's interesting. I mean, especially for the people that are keyed on the PvP side.
All right, hello, CitizenCon. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Dave. So, to continue the conversation of large-scale endgame org activities, let's go back to Pyro 3, where the ground bases were being built earlier today. This morning, we saw the small habitat being built by Luke. And then we saw Deck start to expand the base into a commercial enterprise. But eventually, we saw a massive example of an org base. But with everything Rich was talking about, with org system-wide activities, we want to give you guys the ultimate end goal. But also the thing we need to protect. And to do that, let's look up into the sky and see what it is.
space station.
It is. They talked about it last year. This is your org space station.
Nice.
Let me introduce you to player space stations. Finally, you can build your home amongst the stars. This will be the starting point for your base of operations for system-wide org activities. But why is this an end goal? Well, first of all, to construct your own space station, it's going to require vast quantities of resources and materials, and also will be a large time investment. But how do we start? Well, it all starts with the supply bay. And the supply bay can only be constructed by the pioneer.
Okay. We got that covered.
Once it's created, the supply bay then handles the creation of the station itself. Now, we're in gray box development phase, so the artwork's not final, but let's go on a journey and start building our space base.
May take a bit of material, just a little.
I mean, obviously it's going to take a lot of material.
Awesome.
And load up that whole E.
Sounds like a
So
great
as you
stream
saw,
activity.
the cargo grid of the supply bay consumes resources. And the required resources will be substantial and will need to be topped up over time. So this means orgs will be encouraged to have efficient logistic networks to feed the supply bay. And as Rich outlined with professions, it's ideal if your org is well-rounded in terms of roles. Even the starter player can contribute. The supply bay has automated construction zones, which are used to create the station. And unlike ground bases, many drones are used at once to create the base. Once the station is built, the supply bay then integrates into the station itself. So here we are. We've built our core station module, and it's big. And out of the box, the station comes readily built with some core functionality. Let me talk you through it. Right on the top is the bridge, which is the command deck. This is where all further construction is going to be managed. From here, we can then monitor the status of the entire station. We have access to power and water management. Power and cooling is something you'll need to consider carefully. It also is an area to set permissions for who can enter particular areas, either divided by the ranks of the org itself or open to the public.
Where our store goes.
And there'll be a radar station to track the activity outside the base. And the terminals to access logs of who has visited the station and see what they did. So let's jump back in game and take a stroll through our bridge. Super awesome. The back of the bridge leads to a centralized transit network. This spine physically connects the entire station and will provide access to the various decks. Each level in the station will have a centralized lobby area, and this is your station. You'll be able to use the decorator mode, so you'll have plenty of space to theme it however you want.
It's orange already. It doesn't.
And speaking of having plenty of space, this space station will have a one-to-one interior layout matching the exterior. No magic elevators.
I was going to say, are we going to be able to hire an elevator tech?
So you can circumnavigate around the entire perimeter, and it's wonderful. Okay, let's jump back in.
But are there staircases?
The M-Rock station?
Pretty much. Or I'm sure we'll come up with a good name for it. PTV running through the halls.
The gravity not going around in circles.
All right. As you can see, right at the bottom of the central transit system leads to the lower areas. This is where you'll gain access to the engineering deck. So like bigger ships, this is where all hands-on engineering and maintenance gameplay happens. This will serve as the beating heart of your station.
I hope it doesn't.
Then we have the hangar deck. And as the name implies, this is where you'll gain access to your hangar network. The base station comes with a large hangar already built, along with 2 docking collars, and also empty slots for another 2 medium hangars when needed. There will be a vast network of internal road systems, meaning you can quickly drive from one hangar to the other. No elevators needed. Okay, let's check back in.
I mean, this is definitely going to be a long-term thing to do this. I mean, the resources and the crafting time to build all this out is going to be astronomical.
I absolutely hope it takes years to finish.
Plus, you have to craft all the couches and chairs and lamps.
Well, I hope we can build this within the time span of before release.
That would be nice. But difficult part is
All right.
the Pioneer.
So your station hangar will offer some enhanced logistics. For example, there'll be spaces for several freight elevators. And there'll be empty modules for open ship parking for vehicles and ships, vehicles and ground vehicles. And there'll be also exit points where you can simply drive out into your station. Then there'll be also an upper level for the observation deck. From the observation deck, you'll have a control room. And from here, you'll have master control over the freight elevators and the vehicle elevators. This means that even before someone has landed, their new cargo can be up into the hangar and ready to be loaded up. Now, everything we've spoken about so far is what comes with your station. Let's talk about what you can do to expand it. As I mentioned before, the station comes with a predetermined interior network of corridors and roads. And in this network, you'll find an array of bulkhead connectors. Bulkhead connectors will come in tiers 1 to 3, which drives the size of room you're able to build. In the interior build mode, this is where you start to expand the interior of your station. The rooms will require resource and time to construct, and once built, you can rename each room, which will be reflected in the station's minimap. The interior of your station will have ample areas for you to expand. You can build generic empty rooms, and you can fill with items to your heart's content. You can also build specialist rooms, where the theme and functionality is already set for you, such as mess halls or infirmaries or generator rooms. And of course, there are shops. So similar to the small shops we built around the ground base, this is on a much bigger scale. But that's just the interior. Let's talk about the exterior. On the exterior, we have minor hard points. These are attachment points located on the upper and lower surfaces of the station. Using build mode, you can customize your station with a variety of modules which tailor it to specific functionality. Some modules cater towards resource collection, such as gas harvesters, while others are geared towards defense, like shields or turrets. This goes back to bridge operations of power management. A situation may arise where power priority is needed. Then we have major hardpoints. The core station module comes with 2 hardpoint connectors. Major hardpoints are used to connect substantial wing additions to your station. The first example Awesome, thank you, awesome. The first example is the cargo wing. The cargo wing will dramatically increase your inventory capacity. So this is ideal for orgs who are specializing in hauling. Then we have the refinery wing. So you'll be able to refine resources on a vast scale.
Wing?
Well,
as it's in space,
it's
much more convenient than traveling to a ground base.
A whole wing.
Now,
how many people
a
you
player
planning to shoot,
could
man?
buy resources from your cargo wing and then refine it directly in the refinery wing. And finally, we have the hangar wing. So, all right. So, the bigger your fleet, the more hangars you'll want. There'll be a variety of hangar sizes as well as docking collars
That's a
to help
javelin parked
organize
off to the left
your
of that
fleet's deployment. All major hardpoint wings are connected via struts. And like the rest of the station, the struts are also internally traversable. Okay, so let's recap on the exterior expansion wings. Minor hardpoints give us options on how to collect resources or provide automated defenses for your base. Major hardpoints gives us options on how you can specialize your base. Let's jump back in game and see how our base is getting on.
Of course he needs to go out. That looks freaking awesome.
All right.
All right. Well, this is going on. Let me run these two out. Come on.
Yes, Pedro has been working with us on this as well, so thank you. Looking cool. Customization is just as important as expansion. Similar to ground bases, you'll be able to earn tints for your station,
Orange
and
base.
you'll be able to apply decals for your org logos. Outside of minor and major hardpoints, your station will come with two unique base expansion points. One on the top side behind the bridge, and one on the underside. The top side will be for the crow's nest. Now, all the other modules built so far have very specific functionality, but I'll admit, this is for the org members out there who want the ultimate in personal space. All right. So I'm going to be flying around the verse, and I want personal invitations to see what you've done in those rooms, okay? Super cool. I can't wait to see what you do with it. Now let's talk about the underside. This is going to be for the flight deck, which also comes with an additional 3 major hardpoints. The flight deck is perfect for your rapid reaction forces. It's ideal for fighters, but big enough to fit most ships. It's the perfect home for your station's defensive air wing.
Sorry about that, everyone.
And just like the hangars, there'll be an observation deck which can override freight elevators, making rearming quicker and easier during operations. So an org with a tight flight deck crew can be substantially more efficient than others. Now, this one's my favorite. Let's take a look.
Definitely a good size hangar.
Don't look like sharpens.
All right.
Big enough for the Connie. And then
there's a few little Easter eggs in that video. But why do you need a flight deck for your rapid defenses force? Well, if you've built your super awesome station in a super lawless system, now you're the potential targets for others. Everyone will have their eyes on your resources and wonder what gear you've got in your inventories. And let's say we didn't win the station warfare bid that Rich mentioned. Let's take a look at the inevitable.
I would imagine there's no insurance on a station. Those defenses can be automated. All for the gold pico.
Wait till they find the worm space ring.
Yeah. Can we have a self-defense worm on board?
There's your automated defense.
Just have a giant hangar. Everyone walks in, it's just a worm sleeping.
Okay, so not only is your station a staging area for offensive campaigns, it's also a defensive fortress. The exterior of the station itself can take quite a beating. It's going to be very hard to damage. So the goal of attackers instead will be to punch a hole through the defenses and get inside. The optimal way to do this will be to infiltrate through the flight deck or EVA hatches and work your way up. Once inside...
There's a tank in there.
Yes. Once inside, and you've cleared out a hangar, you may also want to consider airlifting in a tank or two to clear some corridors. Raiders will have to hack freight elevators or bulkheads in order to gain access. And of course, bring enough ships with them to start hauling out the loot. Gaining control of the bridge will allow access to storage, which would otherwise be unhackable. So, as a defender, there are a variety of automated defenses you're able to install internally within the station, such as blast doors, which seal shut, systems to be breached, and a range of turrets like anti-vehicle or anti-personnel. These will all help slow down the attack and give time for your reinforcements to show up. So let's do a final recap. This is one of the end game goals for dedicated orgs, and will be your base of operations for system-wide activities. The station can be customized both in the interior and the exterior, meaning you can tailor it to your own requirements. And it's your very own home amongst the stars. But wait.
There's more.
But wait. There's one more unique module we can build, and that is the dry dock.
Nice.
This unique slot will be at the back of the station. It has its very own dedicated observation room with crafting stations, and has a transit tram which runs along the inside of the arms, leading to the docking collars where your ship will be constructed.
That's probably
So,
where you're going to have to build
the
things
only
like
question
the Javelin
still
and
remains,
Idris.
what sizes of ship can we build?
Or your
Let's
Org
take a look.
Bengal.
Right now it says you can build.
It's going to be a Bengal.
No, I'll just watch the end of the show. That's great. I want to see the reaction. Yes.
Well, that's at least. Now we know where we built it.
We can build a Bengal.
Yep, that was the plan.
We're just going to have to work to get the resources to be able to build it.
Javelins are the largest player purchasable ships, but not the largest player flying.
Look at that.
They did link them together. That's what I was thinking.
Thanks, Ian. So now we're talking. Multiple stations linking and dry docks to craft your very own capital ships. The ultimate end goal for any org. Okay, so let's take a step back. At the beginning of this presentation, I mentioned we had 3 types of players and 1 universe. And hopefully you can see we have purposeful gameplay catering to each type of player. But that wasn't the only goal. It was to build a game that connected all 3 together cohesively. And this is where you come in. The community, the lifeblood of Star Citizen. Whether you're a PvE player delving for unique crafting blueprints, a non-combat player mining for high-quality resources or building a base with your friends, or a PvP player fighting for your org in station warfare to protect your base, each one of you supports each other. You need the blueprints to craft, you need the resources to make them, and you need the equipment and protection to be safe.
Blueprints for the Bangle are probably going to be tough.
This is what Star Citizen is. It's a universe that caters to all players. Now, I could probably go on for another 10 hours deep diving into each system.
Unfortunately, the venue closed.
But I do Jared out of a job, and he needs future ISCs and SC Lives and CitizenCons. Today was to reaffirm what type of game we are making. And I hope you continue to come with us on this journey as we march towards Star Citizen 1.0.
Definitely
Thank you, CitizenCon. And can we welcome Chris Roberts? No? No?
Nope, he's not there.
Jared.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh,
so Chris is not ready yet. So we're gonna ad-lib a bit.
I'm here.
Oh, well, LTI is warranty and insurance. That's what you're gonna get.
I have it on my thing on there. Yeah.
Welcome, Chris Roberts.
Yeah, ahead of schedule.
Yeah. I was going
1:30.
I don't know. Oh, you don't need this, right?
Well, then they're going to scroll it. Thanks, Rich. Rich, Dave, and Ian. I hope you guys and girls loved what you saw there. It's having a definitive line in the sand is incredibly empowering for the whole team, and I think for all of you guys in the community. As I said in introducing the presentation, we will never stop growing Star Citizen, even past 1.0. And part of what makes Star Citizen so special is the symbiotic relationship between you guys, the community, and us, the developers. And I know I can be accused of feature creep. But you only need to look at Spectrum, Reddit, and Discord to see countless great ideas and suggestions that come from people playing a live alpha and seeing areas that the game can grow and improve. And often we take these on board because they will make the game better. And in some ways, while you could say Star Citizen is a Chris Roberts game, I would say it's all our game. The developers, the community, building the game, we're all building this dream game together. And I think that's what makes it special. I think that's why you guys and girls have been here for as long as you have and have supported us through thick and thin, because we're doing something together. And I don't think in almost any other game you have the opportunity to be involved at that level and have your voices heard and impact what we do. Because, you know, occasionally we'll do things and you guys are like, no, that sucks. And we're like, yeah, you're right, we'll change it. And also, like I said, we definitely read and look and hear all the stuff that you write. Some of it may not be so nice, but a lot of it is really great. And we take it aboard because we're just trying to build this amazing universe for us all to live in together. So what defining 1.0 does, though, for us is give us a finish line in terms of feature and content we are committed to delivering for when your life in the verse becomes truly persistent, your gameplay to progress your reputation. The money you earn, the material possessions you collect and earn will persist even as we deliver more content and features. And I think that's incredibly important for really finally being able to fully commit and not just go, okay, well, I'll play for a while until the next patch comes out. And it's also a market for the game to be more stable, well optimized, and incredibly friendly for new players, as well as experienced ones, which I think all you guys are. But that'll only be the start of our journey together, because the vision of Star Citizen is a game that has no sunset, one that will continually grow with new content and features. We'll always make sure we're on the cutting edge of new technology. We'll never be outdated. I know I occasionally see, oh, in so many years, you guys will be out of date. But as you can see by our constant presentations, we're always looking to make whatever we can do, whether it's the visuals, the audio, various ways to make the gameplay better. That's something we will always be working on. So we'll always keep the game at the bleeding edge of graphics, sound, physics, and yes, we'll support VR, and we actually have some of that in the background we're doing.
We're making.
So I hope you've enjoyed this year's CitizenCon. We demoed a small prologue that opens Squadron 42 live, with a few crashes to prove it. As I said, there's a really great full playthrough, no crashes, that Rich did immediately afterward that's up on YouTube. And we've given a date to finally deliver the spiritual successor to Wing Commander that the team and I feel comfortable in hitting. We've defined what Star Citizen 1.0 will be and shown features such as base building and monster hunting that we'll be delivering the next 12 to 18 months. 4.0 and server meshing and Pyro is coming at the end of this year. We're already in Evocati on 4.0. I think some people have been streaming some stuff. And in coming weeks, we'll continually stabilize and improve the experience as it moves into PTU and then goes to live. With this, we will have delivered the majority of what we showed last year at CitizenCon, with the remaining features coming early next year. And there are over 1,000 people committed, 1,000 people at CAG committed to bringing you all this and more. We love what we do, and we're inspired by your passion and support. We know that we are truly lucky to have such a strong community that shares the passion and dreams we do. You allow us a privilege that almost no other developer has, the ability to dream and reach for the stars. And I truly mean that, because as a developer, it's very unusual to be able to build a game of the ambition that Star Citizen is and Squadron 42 is. And that's all down to you guys and girls. So thank you very, very much. And then over this past year, an incredibly passionate group of people have worked behind the scenes to bring this weekend's event to life. And I want to take a moment to thank Leah and Ed, Tyler, Jared, Kat, and so many others have poured their hearts into making this weekend special for all of you. And a huge thanks goes out to our presenters and teams supporting them, whether they're here with us today or watching from one of our other studios around the world. In the words of Admiral Bishop, I'm proud to stand with our teams and everyone that put this show together. And all of the CAG staff working on the show floor, your hard work ensures everything runs smooth and keeps the energy alive throughout the event. And finally, a heartfelt thanks to the community members who volunteered their time to run this year's show. None of this would be possible without their dedication and support. I thank all of you very, very much. And you know, many of us in the team are going to, myself included, are going to head down the road to the Factory International for the Enter the Atmosphere event that Atmos is doing. So I hope a fair number of you will manage to make it over there. There'll be a whole night of racing and esports, a bonus developer panel with Yogi Klatt and Richard Towler, which I think are, as always, they're good panels. And with that, Citizen 2954 comes to a close. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, made new friends, reunited with old ones, and marveled at the creativity on display at the community booth, which was pretty awesome to see. And you know, CitizenCon always underlines what makes Star Citizen special. So that's you. You guys here coming together, supporting, watching, giving us, the team, the energy to make this game. So thank you. And We'll see you in the verse.
All right. Well, that brings to a close another year's CitizenCon. I'm sure Jared will pop up here in a second. Maybe, maybe not. But definitely a lot of exciting information as far as what to expect as far as what will determine when they go out of alpha, as well as a lot of information on the base building, space station building, which I'm stoked for, and the possibility that down the road you'll even be able to build your own bangle. Obviously, it is geared towards multi-crew and org, org-sized groups to do it, because it's going to take a team of people to build those assets. So a lot of great information there. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the show, and I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts?
Be curious what they're going to do for small and medium orgs.
Yeah, I think that definitely being a smaller org, it's going to definitely take us longer to build those kind of assets if we decide to partake in that. I think probably Anrol's comments about, a year or more to be able to fabricate those things is probably not outside of the scope of a smaller group like ourselves. That's going to be the one downfall. Larger orgs that have more resources can go find more resources, or are going to have more availability to get what they need to do that stuff.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have to build it in safe space because we won't be able to guard it 24/7.
Yeah, we're not going to have the crew to man it 24/7. We're not going to have the crew to respond to it if it gets attacked or something like that in unlawful space. So we're going to have to be more selective as to where we build and what we build as far as ground stations or planet-side bases versus a space station and all that.
But I'm fine with that.
I have thoughts for how to make up for being a medium group anyway to get us going.
Well,
so we won't necessarily be limited.
I'm not surprised. I know most of you guys' brains are always ticking about how to make things workable for us and all that. So definitely not shocked by that. So, but yeah, I think there's a lot of good things coming. I mean, obviously 1.0 is not going to happen until after Castra, after Nyx and all that. So we're still probably a couple years away at least. Before we get to that point and all that, Pioneer's got to be in. That's going to be more than 18 months before we're there with that. Base building, as they mentioned, is not going to bring the Pioneer right in at the start, so probably more at least at that 18-month anticipated time. And those times can always change. I mean, as we know with development of anything, that those are not set in stone deadlines. So I'm sure as we get closer in next year's CitizenCon, they'll have more and more information coming out in regards to it. But I think definitely a huge amount of things to look forward to. I still say I want to find a way to put a worm in a hangar for anybody that does raid our station to find. Let's see. Lawn Dart posted a Star Lancer video on the Discord if anybody wants to check that out. You can get that on the Pledge store now. You can get the Max again, the Star Lancer Max. They announced that will be flyable at IAE, and there are available upgrades for that right now. And of course, the TAC is available for ship upgrade or purchase now for concept. The Argo CSV SM is available, which is going to be the small non-fabricating little pickup truck, and that is drivable. Anrol had a chance to go in and test it out, and it probably is still faster than the RC right now. And then, of course, they also mentioned that the the base building portion of the Star Lancer will eventually be coming as well, too. But I did not see that available for upgrade or purchase on the Pledge store yet. So they did have some other packs up there, concierge packs, as well as other packs with both ships and all that. So check that out. The TAC was $295. And the max was $250, and then you can do upgrades on those as well. So But I want to thank everybody for being here today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, as a reminder, we will not be streaming this evening at our normal time because we were here early this morning. We will be doing a Daymar rally practice. So if you're interested in the Daymar rally, we are still trying to put together a Cyclone team. We'll be doing a practice this evening at 7 p.m. So feel free to join us for that. And you can pop in on the Discord if you want to get on those teams. You don't have to be in the org. You're more than welcome to check it out, though, and participate in those events, even if you aren't part of the org. We need driver and a couple of support people for that. And definitely look forward to meeting anybody that's interested in doing that. But you can catch us on our normal times every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 7 p.m. And we appreciate your guys' support. Hopefully you'll enjoy the remainder of the weekend and appreciate you guys all being here. Don't forget, if you want to help support the channel, check out the merch store. We have racing gear, org gear, as well as channel gear. And if you're in the market for a pre-built or custom PC, check out darkhourpc.com. And we can ship across the United States. And if you're in the Indianapolis area, we can also do upgrades, repairs, and cleaning. So if you're interested in that, just check out darkhourpc.com for more information. And you guys all have a wonderful Sunday, or some people, I guess, could be Monday. But appreciate you and take care. We will see you Tuesday night.